Chapter 416. The teenager is in a hurry. Lin Luoran doesn't want to be a busybody. However, when she sees a few muscular men rushing towards her, she doesn't know whether it's intentional or not. One of the men, who is wearing tight black clothes and revealing his muscular arms, is about to bump into Lin Luoran when he sees her. If it were any other woman, she would definitely suffer a loss. Lin Luoran slides and avoids the man. Her eyes are cold. The man in black staggers and stares at Lin Luoran fiercely as if she has committed a big crime by avoiding him. Seeing Lin Luoran's look, Mr. Jing thinks of what Lin Luoran just did in the cold drink shop and sneers. This group of people is extremely annoying and domineering in the market. Maybe they will kick a big iron plate today. The elevator door has long been closed. They are contacting their partners with personal computers on their wrists. They are not in a hurry to chase after Lin Luoran. It seems that they want to outflank her. The man in black saw Boss Zheng at the side and rolled his eyes. "Zheng, what does this beauty want to buy? Do you have any goods in your electrical appliance store? Our Proud Dragon business has all kinds of goods. Beauty, if you want, I can give you a 20% discount. How about it?" Lin Luoran is still cold and indifferent. It seems that the man in black is talking to the air. Whether he is fighting, angry, or shy, the one who flirts always likes to see the reaction of the one being flirted with. That's why he has such a hobby. However, Lin Luoran ignores him and his punch hits cotton. For a hooligan, he feels very uncomfortable. However, since she appears in Juzhou Market, he will be able to deal with her in the future. He is not in a hurry. The man in black is about to say something when the elevator lands again with a jingle. The boy looks pale. Seeing the man guarding outside the elevator, he is about to turn around and continue to escape. However, the elevator door is caught by someone. "Hey, you brat! You stole from Proud Dragon business and you still want to live in Juzhou? Run, I'll let you run." The man in black steps forward and grabs the boy's collar tightly. They were used to doing this kind of work, strangling people's collars. Even if the person in question wanted to refute, they would have to hold it in until their faces were red and their necks were bulging, unable to defend themselves. Nonsense. The youth couldn't even breathe properly, so he couldn't finish his sentence. A few more people came out of the elevator. Looking at their outfits and appearances, it was clear that they were the same person. More than 10 people grabbed the skinny young man like he was a little chick and carried him out. Mr. Jing sighs. Lin Luoran asks coldly, "What did he steal from you?" The man in black is stunned for a moment and then smiles teasingly. "Beauty, do you want to meddle in the business of Proud Dragon business?" Proud Dragon business? Lin Luoran almost can't hold her cold face and laughs out loud. She still remembers that before the new era, she once browsed the hot post of Tribe for Cultivators. The general idea was that the most disgusting name was the surname Long. If there was another AO and Tion, it would really make people want to throw up. Civilization had really collapsed. The technology of humans in the new era was getting more and more advanced, and their physiques were getting stronger and stronger, but even the most basic literacy had been lost. She just thinks the name, Proud Dragon Business, is funny. In the eyes of the man in black, it is contempt for Proud Dragon Business. Lin Luoran doesn't care about what the man in black thinks. She repeats it again to add fuel to the fire. "What did he steal from you?" The man in black sneers. Lin Luoran doesn't respect the business. He is about to turn hostile. However, seeing that Mr. Zheng has been silent, he changes his mind. Although Mr. Zheng is a private peddler, he is really famous in the market of Juzhou. Apart from other things, it is not easy to deal with a person who can take over the business alone. Mr. Zheng looks on coldly. He is afraid that this woman really has some background. The man in black rolls his eyes and takes out an inner bolus from the young man's arms. "See? The inner bolus of a rank 8 mutant beast. How could a loser with less than rank 3 martial arts get it? This guy is so bold that he dares to steal from Proud Dragon business. Now he is caught red-handed." The young man whose neck is strangled makes a sound and wants to argue. Lin Luoran almost claps her hands. Except for the silly name, Proud Dragon business is really a dishonest business. She casually paid the young man the inner bolus yesterday to offset the reading fee. Proud Dragon Business can't make a deal and now they want to rob him? Lin Luoran doesn't bother to explain to these shameless people. She pats the man in black's elbow lightly and quickly with one hand. He cries in pain and can't help but let go of the young man's collar. The inner bolus also falls and is picked up by a hand as fast as lightning. How dare you! The thugs of Proud Dragon Business surround Lin Luoran. The young man is rescued and gasps, "The inner bolus was given to me by this sister. You are in cahoots." It belongs to Proud Dragon Business. That's right. Like chirping sparrows, the thugs of the business are obviously afraid of Lin Luoran's fast movement. Although they surround the three of them, they dare not do anything for the time being. They all become shrews and want to distort the truth in the lobby of the building where many people are watching from a distance. The man in black who is suspected to be the leader finally recovers from the pain. Dragging his broken arm, he grits his teeth and says, "Let her go." Because of the harsh living environment in the new era, people on the earth especially value force. Whoever has the strongest fist has the right to speak. Lin Luoran breaks his arm with one move and snatches the inner bolus from a dozen men. They are no match for her. The only thing they can do is to fight back after they are prepared. Lin Luoran throws the inner bolus to the young man and walks out of the building with him and Mr. Zheng. Being ignored from the beginning to the end makes the man in black gnash his teeth. He hates Lin Luoran's guts instead of his love for beauty. Mr. Zheng is silent all the way. Lin Luoran thinks for a while and asks the young man, "Are you going to sell the inner bolus?" The young man is a little embarrassed. It is embarrassing to sell the inner bolus in front of the original owner. However, things have come to this point and he will look stingy if he continues to hide. Therefore, he nods and admits it. Lin Luoran doesn't laugh at him. She turns her head and asks, "Mr. Zheng, do you still accept the rank 8 inner bolus?" If it is an ordinary one, Mr. Zheng really doesn't want to offend the Proud Dragon Business for a mere inner bolus. However, rank 8 inner bolus is rare. Besides, this one seems to be made by Lin Luoran. It is worthwhile to make friends with a person who can take out many high-level inner boluses. Therefore, Mr. Zheng readily agrees and offers a high price of 18,000 crystal coins. The young man is overjoyed. He transfers the money with Mr. Zheng on his personal computer on the spot and the transaction is completed. The inner bolus is sold well. Lin Luoran not only gives it to him but also helps him twice. No matter how thick-skinned the young man is, he has to show his gratitude. He insists on inviting Lin Luoran to dinner. Dinner. Lin Luoran thinks of all kinds of fruits and vegetables produced by organic nutrient solution and she loses her appetite immediately. However, it is hard to refuse the young man's hospitality. She has to follow him into a Sichuan restaurant. Unexpectedly, Sichuan cuisine has been preserved in the new era. Lin Luoran looks at the brochure on the electronic wall and almost cries for the red pepper. She is not being pretentious. She just thinks of the scorched land of Chuan province, and her family who has disappeared. The young man obviously loves spicy food. Because he is treating today, he orders several dishes in one breath. When the boiled meat is served, the young man almost drools. Lin Luoran is a guest, so she has to eat first. She picks a piece of meat and swallows it after a few bites. With the red meat, the young man eats the rice which looks no different from before the new era. He is very satisfied with such a luxurious meal. All the dishes are served. Lin Luoran moves her chopsticks politely. The young man is full and puts down his chopsticks. He packs an untouched bowl of vegetable soup and asks, "Is the taste of this restaurant not to your taste?" "Of course not. I just had dinner and I am not hungry yet." Lin Luoran denies it. In fact, the pepper in the boiled meat has no fragrance. It is like fake pepper mixed with various materials. The meat is also very old. It should be a mutant beast. The young man believes it. He packs the vegetable soup and says he will take it to his sister at home. Lin Luoran glimpses a few evasive figures outside the hall. She asks with a smile, "Lu Yiming, won't you invite me to live at home?" The young man is stunned. "How do you know my name is Lu Yiming?" Lin Luoran laughs and points to the personal computer on his wrist. Lu Yiming suddenly realizes that she borrowed the computer to read books yesterday. Of course, she remembers his name. Lin Luoran's inner bolus and today's protection can't be solved by a simple meal. Lu Yiming is very happy to agree with Lin Luoran's proposal. He doesn't think she is rash. Lu Yiming appeared in Yeyang district yesterday. It doesn't mean that his home is in Yeyang. In fact, his home is in Yiyang district, which is only 40 minutes drive from Juzhou district where they are now. It is convenient and cheap to take the subway. Lin Luoran becomes a child who evades the fair again. Several people following her see that she and Lu Yiming are not separated, so they ask others to follow them. Lin Luoran tricks them to get off the train halfway. When they arrive at Yiyang district, Lu Yiming takes her to another bus and goes all the way to the remote outer city. There are many old buildings here. Although the building materials have improved compared with those before the new era, Lin Luoran is very familiar with the depressing pattern. Lu Yiming's home is on the ground floor. The tube-shaped building is poorly planned and the layout is crowded. It is also an elevator building with dozens of floors. The ground floor is wet and damp. It is neither ventilated nor sunny. If it were not for a few square meters of precious land in the small yard and a lush grapevine that brings vitality to this cramped place, the Lu family's house can be said to be useless. A 13 or 14-year-old girl happens to open the door. Her thin face is a little pale. Seeing Lu Yiming coming back, she greets him happily. Because of her big movement, a green jade plate is exposed from the round collar of her t-shirt. Lu Yiming says a few words to his sister and introduces her to Lin Luoran. This is my sister Lu Shuangshuang. After waiting for a long time, he still doesn't get a response from his benefactor. He turns his head and sees that Lin Luoran is staring at Lu Shuangshuang's neck. She seems to be stunned. Lu Yiming's look changes. Lin Luoran's eyes are hazy. She is not interested in the jade plate. Although the quality of the jade is good, she will not be greedy for ordinary people's objects compared with the good jade piled up like a mountain in the space. What makes her stunned is that the jade plate is too familiar. It is the protective jade plate she sent in the Qin's villa before the new era. Chapter 417. This is... Lu Yiming hesitates. He suddenly remembers that he has never asked the young woman's name. He seems to be too careless. They have only met twice and he doesn't even know her name. Just because she is kind to him, he invites her home. Especially when Lin Luoran's eyes fall on his sister Lu Shuangshuang's neckline, Lu Yiming is even more regretful. Damn it! What on earth lowers his vigilance? The alertness in Lu Yiming's eyes and the pale face of his sister Lu Shuangshuang make Lin Luoran calm down instantly. This jade plate is well carved. I always like some old objects. Sorry to make you two laugh. By the way, my surname is Lin. The jade plate is indeed an old object. Lu Yiming's vigilance is not completely relaxed. However, Lin Luoran's skills are extraordinary. He can't let his sister fall into danger. He can only plan slowly. The pale face of Lu Shuangshuang doesn't know that her brother is alarmed. Perhaps there are few visitors at home. The girl who is trapped in a small world because of poor health sees Lin Luoran, who is also a woman. Hey, Sister Lin, can I call you Sister Lin? Lu Shuangshuang is not in good health. Her face is so thin that it is only the size of a palm. She looks so lovable. However, Lin Luoran remembers that it has been 300 years since she left Mount Penglai. Isn't she more than 300 years old? Although she hasn't experienced the truth and she hasn't become a knowledgeable old monster, she will inevitably feel a little awkward if she is called sister by a pink Lolita even if she is thick-skinned. However, Lu Shuangshuang is really enthusiastic. Seeing her hesitation, she thinks Lin Luoran is embarrassed. She doesn't see Lu Yiming's desperate hint and invites Lin Luoran to enter the house again and again. The big room is only about 10 square meters. The small living room is crowded with 3 people. Lin Luoran feels that she can't stretch her legs when she sits down. However, it is very clean. Some warm furnishings are obviously made by herself. Lu Shuangshuang goes to pour water for Lin Luoran. Lu Yiming suddenly remembers the rape soup he packed. Sister Lin, I don't know what you like to drink, so I make a glass of lemonade. Do you like it? Lu Shuangshuang comes out with a glass. Through the glass, 2 pieces of dried lemon slices stretch slowly. She adds sugar and it is sweet and sour. Perhaps because of her state of mind, Lin Luoran feels it is much better than the mango ice that Boss Jing took her to eat. She takes a few sips in a row. Lu Shuangshuang is very happy. Her pale face flushes with joy. Lu Yiming comes out with the hot rape soup. The fragrance is still there, but the leaves have already turned yellow. There is no nutrition. The girl is eating happily. Lin Luoran is sad to see this. Although in this world, the price of food has long been in the inequality of fruit, vegetable, meat, synthetic food, a bowl of rape soup that is no longer delicious makes Lu Shuangshuang, who is still growing, eat it. Lin Luoran, who has not yet integrated into the new era, frowns. He had to find out where they got their jade pendants from. Lin Luoran finds an excuse immediately. Well, my personal computer is broken, so I can't go back to my place. Can I stay at your place for the night, Shuangshuang? Lu Yiming doesn't want Lin Luoran to stay at his place. He even wants to return the 18,000 crystal coins for selling the inner bolus to her. However, when he sees his sister Lu Shuangshuang's blushing face, he can't say no. He works for a living all day long. His sister lives in seclusion because of her poor health. She rarely communicates with outsiders. She is so lonely. It is rare for him to meet a woman Lu Shuangshuang likes. Lu Yiming feels very confused. Lin Luoran just sits on the sofa casually. She looks easygoing and amiable. Lu Yiming still remembers her style of silently breaking the hands of the thugs of Proud Dragon business. After thinking about it, he can only cope with changes by remaining unchanged. Because there are guests, Lu Yiming has to go to the department store to buy some toiletries, food and vegetables. He just got a windfall today. Besides entertaining Lin Luoran, he also buys things for his sister. He has always been generous. After Lu Yiming leaves, Lu Shuangshuang becomes more talkative. Without her brother who is afraid of her, she is much more lively. She takes Lin Luoran to visit her room and shows her a small bone sculpture on the counter. It is said that it is the first mutant beast Lu Yiming hunted. He carved a little bear for Lu Shuangshuang as a souvenir. There is also a little rabbit made of thick fiber thread. Its red eyes are lovable, just like its owner Lu Shuangshuang. The little girl is trapped in a small world because of her health. She yearns for the outside world. Her eyes are charming and full of ignorance. After introducing herself, Lu Shuangshuang asks Lin Luoran again, "Sister Lin, can I go to your house too?" Lin Luoran touches her fluffy yellow hair and nods, "Of course. My home is in Yeyang district. You can go there anytime." Lu Shuangshuang raises her face. Is it the nearest Yeyang district to Mount June in Dongting? It is very beautiful and the security is good. No wonder Sister Lin can't go home when her computer is broken. Oh, has Shuangshuang been to Mount June? Lu Shuangshuang shakes her head as expected. The Federation has long designated Mount June Island as a key protected area. Every year, only some leaders go there to worship Mortal Heart Fairy. We ordinary people don't even think about it. However, my brother said that the area around Mount June is very beautiful. When he was a child, he even went there to catch shrimps for fun. Unfortunately, we moved later. Lu Shuangshuang has a pure heart. She doesn't need Lin Luoran to ask her. She takes the initiative to explain the situation of the Lu family. It's summer now. The artificial energy dome over Dongting City can't completely isolate the heat. The air conditioner of the Lu family has long been broken. Lu Shuangshuang feels embarrassed, so Lin Luoran proposes to cool down under the grapevines. Lu Shuangshuang pats her head. "Sister Lin, let me treat you to grapes." Summer is of course the season for grapes to ripen. Lin Luoran doesn't know what kind of grapevine it is. It bears a lot of fruit, but it is too small and tastes sour. Even so, it has to be carefully guarded. Children in this building often come to steal it. Lu Shuangshuang is proud to see the guests eat happily because it is the crops she carefully takes care of. Her little face is full of happiness. In fact, grapes are so sour that they can't be eaten. Only in places like the slums of the new era will they feel very precious. Thinking that the two siblings may be the blood of an old friend, Lin Luoran feels that as an elder, she is sitting on a treasure mountain. However, she can only watch the two siblings suffer. When Lu Yiming comes back, he carries a small bag of rice, a large piece of slightly tender mutant frog meat, a little tomatoes, beans, green vegetables, and some kelp from Dongting Lake. It is so expensive that he only buys a ball of kelp. When he is sleepy, someone sends him a pillow. Lin Luoran says righteously that she can't stay here for free. She insists that she will cook at night. Lu Yiming is skeptical. Lin Luoran provokes him. What? Are you afraid that I will poison you? Under his sister's watery eyes, the deer is defeated. He can only give the ingredients to Lin Luoran. Technology is advancing. Electric cookers have become very convenient. The bottom layer cooks and the small compartment cooks. They can be set separately. The heat is not bad and the seasoning is accurate. Lu Yiming has always been like this. When he sees Lin Luoran going out and walking around, he is surprised to see that she buys a bunch of strange seasonings that he can't name. Of course, Lin Luoran doesn't buy them. She just takes out some spices from space as an excuse. Of course, the ripening vegetables Lu Yiming buys are all replaced by the products of space. The mutant frog meat is a bit difficult to deal with. There is so much monster meat nourished by Reiki in space that she can't finish it even if she eats for 100 years. She casually grabs a large piece of wild boar meat and brings it back. Lu Yiming grits his teeth. Didn't you say that the personal computer is broken, Sister Lin? The teenager says the words, Sister Lin, so angrily. Lin Luoran is indifferent. Yes, it is broken. I exchange it with the inner bolus of mutant monsters. The boss also welcomes me next time. She has a look of, I don't lack anything but inner bolus, which makes Lu Yiming speechless. Of course, there is TV in the new era. However, it is difficult to survive. People's spiritual requirements are not as detailed as hundreds of years ago. Soap idol dramas can't survive. No one is willing to support actors with tax money. TV stations only play serious news and military films with the theme of defending the earth. The kitchen is too small for two people to go in and turn around. Lu Shuangshuang is pushed out by Lin Luoran to watch TV. The little girl looks at the role of a federal hero on TV with bright eyes. Brother, you once said that our ancestors were also war heroes. Did you really not lie to me? Lu Yiming lovingly rubs his sister's hair. Silly, of course, I won't lie to you. Lu Shuangshuang sighs, but there is no hero with the surname Lu in the Federation. Brother, you are fooling me again. Lu Yiming stares at the kitchen. He wants to say something but stops on second thought. Lin Luoran lowers her head and is seriously collecting the sauce for braised pork. She doesn't seem to hear the whisper of the brother and sister. Dinner is placed under the grapevine. The small square table is full of dishes. Because the air converter works in the evening, the whole Dongting city will be windy. The breeze brings a bit of coolness to the heat and also blows the aroma of the food in the small courtyard of the Lu family. Many residents upstairs open the windows to check the source of the aroma. Some people pretend to pass by and ask what the Lu family is eating tonight. It smells so good and so spicy. Lu Shuangshuang eats a few pieces of dried frog meat in a row. Her nose is red because of the spiciness, but she still wants to eat more. Even Lu Yiming, who is alert, has to admit that Lin Luoran's cooking is the best food he has ever eaten in his life. Even the Lu family in the past has never eaten such delicious food. Lu Yiming eats 3 bowls of rice in a row. The braised pork is so delicious. Why didn't he find that the mutant pig with a strong smell is so delicious before? Lin Luoran only eats a bowl of rice because there are a few more snots on the table of the Lu family. Lu Shuangshuang likes to be lively. Lu Yiming is reluctant, but he still asks a few kids to eat. They almost lick the plate clean. Lu Shuangshuang smiles and Lu Yiming is also in a good mood. The night comes quickly. Lu Shuangshuang falls asleep on the bed, but Lin Luoran opens her eyes. The single bed is not big and it is difficult for 2 people to sleep in it. She doesn't mind, but she hears Lu Yiming talking on the phone in the yard in a low voice. The personal computer is still the prototype of the Special Forces communicator. Of course, it can also be used as a communicator. The best gene enhancement fluid costs 100,000 crystal coins. Thank you. Contact me if you need it. Cutting off the communication, Lu Yiming looks at the moon in the sky in a daze. Because the entire Dongting city is covered with a protective layer and the air is dirty, the soft and beautiful moonlight before the new era has become a beautiful scene that can never be reproduced. In addition, with the advent of the interstellar era, the beautiful legend about the moon is self-defeating. The representative meaning of the moon given by the literati and poets is gone. Lu Yiming has no feeling about the moon. He is just thinking about how to get 100,000 crystal coins. If I were you, I would not give Shuang Shuang any gene enhancement fluid. She is born with a congenital deficiency. Her body is cold and her body is weak. She can't stand the domineering gene enhancement fluid. Lin Luoran suddenly appears by the door. Lu Yiming's face changes and he looks at his sister's room nervously. He is relieved to make sure there is no movement. Don't worry. Shuang Shuang is asleep and she won't wake up. In order to let the girl sleep, Lin Luoran also uses a trace of Wacken. However, Lu Yiming obviously doesn't appreciate it. He lowers his voice and says anxiously, "What did you do to my sister?" When Lu Yiming sees the shaking jade plate in Lin Luoran's hand, he feels so regretful that he invited a wolf into the house. Sure enough, this woman comes for the jade plate. Borrowing personal computer, giving inner bolus, and meeting by chance in the market, are they all arranged deliberately? Seeing his changing expression and secretly accumulating strength in his hand, Lin Luoran shakes the jade plate. "Shuang Shuang is very lovely. I can understand your mood. To tell you the truth, she suffered a lot in her mother's womb. She is suffering from a hidden disease. Using gene enhancement fluid is courting death. However, if she is left alone, she will not live more than 20 years old." Lu Yiming's body shakes and he almost falls down. "Go away. Here is the jade plate. Don't disturb me and my sister. If anything happens to Shuang Shuang, I will not let you go even if I become a ghost." Lin Luoran smiles and throws the jade plate to Lu Yiming. "If I say I can save her, do you believe it? I can make her as healthy as ordinary people or even better. Do you believe it? Do you believe it? I can save her." If someone else says this, Lu Yiming will hit him with a big stick. However, the person doesn't want the jade plate. Why does he help his sister? Lu Yiming can't figure out Lin Luoran's purpose and he hesitates for a while. Lin Luoran makes a gesture to invite him to sit down under the grapevine. "Don't be so nervous. Maybe you can tell me about your ancestors' deeds." Shuang Shuang said that the ancestor of the Lu family was a hero. The night wind is cool. The grapevine leaves move with the wind, making a slight sound. Lin Luoran's eyes are as bright as stars, giving people the power to calm down. Lu Yiming has been wandering with his sister since he was a child. It is hard for him to believe strangers. Surprisingly, he sees the love of an elder in Lin Luoran's eyes. The teenager lowers his head and struggles for a while. Finally, he tells the story buried in his heart. His ancestor is a federal hero. In the long river of time, how many people still remember his ancestor who made great achievements in the war? Tonight, he will be allowed to indulge himself. The moon is in the middle of the sky. With the teenager's story, Lin Luoran is suddenly enlightened, painful and sad. Many years ago, when the earth was still in the new era, there was a fat boy who was so fat that his eyes couldn't be seen. He wrestled with Luodong in the classroom. Ignorance is bliss. He even tore the textbook of Huang Weijian, a training qi cultivator. Under the shade of the sycamore tree, Luodong and Huang Weijian were kidnapped by the bloodline. The short and fat teenager comes forward and hands her a piece of paper with the license plate number. He narrows his eyes and says, "Sister, go and save Luodong." The short and fat teenager gradually grows up. He is still the playboy of the past. He is vain, but he is loyal and has a sense of propriety. When he got the protective jade plate, the whole Qin's villa was filled with joy. When he touched the grade 5 flying sword, he loved it very much. However, he gave it to Luodong. He said, "We are good brothers. It doesn't matter who has it." After such a long time, he is still short and fat. Lin Luoran really can't figure out that the cheerful and cunning teenager will become a federal hero one day. However, time flies. It has been more than 200 years since he died. The short and fat teenager in her memory makes Lin Luoran cry. Ma Ming, a federal lieutenant general, was 61 years old. He died in the battle to recover the capital of Huaxia in 2058. He joined the army at the age of 52 and participated in more than 200 battles in his life. He is a federal hero and is buried in the Dongting Hero Cemetery. Chapter 418. In the hot afternoon, cicadas are chirping on the willow trees. This large cemetery is full of heroes who made great contributions to the fight against the Alpha Alliance and the establishment of the Federation in the battle to defend the Earth. For the new era where most of the territories were occupied by mutated beasts, it was not easy for them to have a burial ground with green mountains and clear waters. Only these old heroes could enjoy such a privilege, and the people had no objection. In the cemetery shaded by green willows, a beautiful woman is holding carefully roasted meat skewers and putting them in front of a tombstone. The photo inlaid on the tombstone has turned yellow because of time. The middle-aged man in the photo is strange but familiar to Lin Luoran. Although he is still as fat as before, his facial features are much more resolute. His hair is white at the temples and his eyes are full of vigor. He really deserves the rank of lieutenant general. Here, little fatty, your favorite barbecue. Lin Luoran doesn't let the two siblings standing behind her hear her murmur. Lin Luoran's sorrow is still hidden in the whispers drifting with the wind. I'm sorry, little fatty, I'm late. She once tried to protect her family and friends. She watched the little fatty Ma Ming grow up. If she hadn't gone to Penglai at that time, he might not have died in the war. She can't reverse the disadvantage of the Earth in the invasion of the Alpha Alliance, but she is confident to protect everyone. What kind of perilous environment had the heartless and unambitious little fatty been forced to become a so-called federal hero? Lin Luoran sprinkles a glass of spirit wine in front of Ma Ming's tomb and leaves with the two siblings. When passing by the center of the cemetery, she also sees a cenotaph. The tomb of the federal hero, General Mu Tianqing of Huaxia. She has noticed the name Mu Tianqing when she was in the library database. At that time, she just thought it was a coincidence. Now seeing the photo on the tombstone, she almost can't help crying again. Little Six. They all call him Little Six of the Mu family. Lin Luoran doesn't remember whether his real name is Mu Tianqing, but she will never forget his young face. Little Six of the Mu family got the foundation-laying bolus and had a bright future for personal ability enhancement. Did he die on the moon as early as 2051? For cultivators, he still has countless possibilities, but he sleeps in the fire of the Alpha Alliance. Lin Luoran never knows that hatred can corrupt people like this. She hates the Alpha Alliance more than anything else in her life. The coalition that destroyed her home and killed everyone she knew. Lin Luoran clenches her hands and carefully looks at the thousands of tombstones in the cemetery. Most of them are from the state of Huaxia and there are many foreigners. Fortunately, there are no other acquaintances. However, Lin Luoran doesn't feel relaxed. Not being in the cemetery of heroes did not mean that those old friends were still alive. Maybe there are no bones left. The solemn atmosphere in the cemetery is so heavy that Lin Luoran can hardly breathe. She took the two siblings and escaped from the graveyard of heroes. The fresh air by the lake woke her up quickly. Luoran people Lin is Alliance. Alliance with Alliance Lin. She had never dared to imagine what it was like to walk the path of cultivation alone like a walking corpse. Sister Lin. Lu Shuang breaks the tension. Lu, little girl. Sister Lin Lu. Of Lin of Lin to Lin with and smiles. The Lin with Lu. The Lin Lu of Lin. Lin Luoran comes to herself and smiles at Lu Shuang. From today onwards, you can return to your original surnames. Also call me Auntie. You can't call me Big Sister anymore. According to seniority, they were Ma Ming's descendants by several generations, so it was really difficult to distinguish them in terms of seniority. Although Gugu was not proper, she was much better than her sister. Lin Luoran doesn't mind how they call her. What she cares about is that they can't call her Sister Lin, like Ma Ming. Lu Shuang is confused, But Lu Yiming vaguely thinks of something mentioned by the elders in his family in the past. His surname was Lin. Was he the descendant of the close friend of the ancestor who had returned to look for them? He remembered that before his grandfather passed away, he had held his hand and told him that one day, someone with the surname Lin would come looking for them. A family from before the new era? Lu Yiming didn't believe it at all. Now all kinds of coincidences make him believe it. Thinking about this, Lu Yiming ignores his sister's surprise and nods obediently. I'll take my sister to the city hall to change the name, but… Lin Luoran looks up. Is there any difficulty? Lu Yiming explains in a low voice the reason why he and his sister changed their surnames. Lin Luoran nods after listening. I see. I'll deal with it before tomorrow. Seeing the disbelief in Lu Yiming's eyes, Lin Luoran says seriously, from today on, you don't have to be afraid of anyone. Lu Yiming looks up and Lu Shuangshuang also looks over. Glancing at the two siblings, Lin Luoran says slowly, because I'm back. I'm back. I can't protect you, little fatty. I will help Luodong fulfill his promise. Looking at Lin Luoran's firm eyes, Lu Yiming feels warm in his heart. He lowers his head and says in a choked voice, I see. Aunt Lin. It seems that it is not so difficult to call her aunt. Although she doesn't look much older than them, her temperament and way of doing things are extremely mature, making people feel that she is an elder. She deserves to be called aunt. Lin Luoran points to a villa by Dongting Lake. Shuangshuang, do you like it? Lu Shuangshuang squints her eyes. What a beautiful house. I like it there, Aunt Lin. Lin Luoran smiles. Then we will move in tomorrow. Lu Shuangshuang thinks Lin Luoran is joking. Lu Yiming sees the direction of her finger and he is shocked. The villa shaded by green willows is the former residence of the Ma family. He lived there until he was 8 years old and then he moved out with his sister. Does Aunt Lin mean that she will take back the house that belongs to the Ma family tomorrow? Lu Yiming can't tell the feeling in his heart. He just feels that after so many years of hardship, he suddenly has an elder who can stand out. This feeling is really not bad. Boss Zheng, happy cooperation. Lin Luoran looks at the brand new personal computer in her hand and checks the information that has been connected to the internet. She is very satisfied. Boss Zheng modestly says that it is a piece of cake. After the business is done, he invites Lin Luoran to dinner. After a day of running, Lu Shuangshuang feels a little tired while feeling a little tired. Her weak and cold body also sweats. Lin Luoran gives a few ordinary inner boluses to Boss Zheng and transfers some cash to her personal account. She is about to take Lu Shuangshuang to buy clothes. However, there is no good high-end clothing store in Juzhou Market. Lin Luoran is thinking whether she should make some clothes for Lu Shuangshuang herself when her new personal computer vibrates. Warning, warning, the monster tide broke out in advance. Residents in the city with level 4 martial arts and level 5 spirit power, please go to the 4 fortresses to participate in the defense battle. Lin Luoran's new identity is an ordinary new human being with level 5 martial arts and level 5 spirit power. To her surprise, the personal computer on Lu Yiming's wrist is also buzzing. Well, if he is also a level 5 martial arts and is so useless, then the human beings in the new era are far less powerful than cultivators. Chapter 419. Because the new Dongting city is centered on Dongting Lake, the areas a little farther away are abandoned. The so-called 4 fortresses are Yeyang District, Juzhou District, Yiyang District, and Changde District. They just surround Dongting Lake in the middle. Mutant monsters attack human encampments once every 1 or 2 months. Residents in Dongting City have been used to it. Residents with martial arts level 4 and spirit power level 5 or above will be recruited to defend the city. Although technology is changing with each passing day, defending the city is not without casualties. Why do they still need manpower to defend the city? People in Dongting City are willing to defend this pure homeland. When the monster tide breaks out, it is also the time for people to hunt. Especially in the first wave of the monster tide, endless low-rank mutant monsters will come. They represent shining crystal coins. Lin Luoran and Lu Yiming are alerted that they are in Juzhou Market. It is self-evident that they are going to the fortress. However, Lu Shuangshuang is a problem. Fortunately, Mr. Zheng offers to help them take care of Lu Shuangshuang. Lin Luoran looks at him deeply and nods. The alarm in Juzhou district is ringing. Along the way, many citizens go to the direction of the city gate. They all get on the bus to reinforce or to hunt. There were also some warriors who were not weak. They ran as if they were flying towards the direction of the city gate. In the past, Lu Yiming always went by car. However, today Aunt Lin pats him on the back and Lu Yiming leaps more than 10 feet away. He is shocked. Lin Luoran whispers to him to go quickly. The two run on the street. Lu Yiming thinks about the subtlety of that pat over and over again. He is scared out of his wits. In fact, the pat seems very mysterious to him. It is just a light body spell that can be used on ordinary people in the bearing essence period. Lin Luoran didn't have a master to teach her, so she didn't know how to use it. After White Fairy wakes up, she begins to learn those useful little spells. When they arrive at the city gate, it is not too late but not too early either. The outer wall is like an iron bucket. It is reinforced with an unknown alloy and it has been surrounding the entire Dongting city. The land outside the city was not all scorched black. The yellow soil could also be used to grow crops like the ones inside the city. There was a huge buffer zone in front of the crop belt. Gathering the citizens to defend the city was to fight in front of the crop belt. Due to the disappearance of the ozone layer, the growth cycle of the crops was disrupted. It was midsummer now, and the wheat should have been harvested long ago. However, the wheat planted in the crop belt was still green. If it was disturbed by the mutated beasts, this season's crops would be wasted. The first wave to attack the city was a mutant rat, which did not arouse people's interest. Rats had a lot of bacteria on their bodies, and in this new era of pollution, who would still dare to eat rat meat? The fur of this kind of low-level mutated rat wasn't shiny, and it wouldn't be worth much even if it was sold. The Niden of a rank 1 mutated beast was the most common, and it couldn't be sold for much money. Moreover, the claws and teeth of mutated rats all contained a lot of bacteria, and if one was accidentally scratched, the medical expenses would also be a big problem. Fortunately, the city hall also knew that this was a scam. Every mutant rat hunted had a corresponding reward. It was better than nothing. It was just an appetizer for everyone. In the past, in order to save money to buy gene enhancement fluid, Lu Yiming would do any hard, tiring, and deceptive task. But now, not to mention that Aunt Lin didn't say anything, he already knew that gene enhancement fluid was useless for Lu Shuangshuang's body. Why should he take the risk to fight? There were soldiers with hot weapons on the city wall. Most of the people fighting with mutant beasts used cold weapons. Humans who had been injected with the gene-strengthening fluid were no longer the ordinary people before the new age. It was necessary to have a strong body. Even a slender person might have a set of martial arts that he was not familiar with. The Earth Federation was working hard to develop Pluto. It was better to use less energy. Cold weapons didn't use oil or bullets. It was really environmentally friendly. Because the citizens who were summoned to defend the city all had at least level 5 martial arts and years of experience, it was like the online games before the new era. Gangs always organized people to clean up small monsters before the game. In less than 10 minutes, tens of thousands of mutant rats were almost all dead. Many people regretted that they didn't get the best position. The rat corpses were thrown into the deep pit. Every time a mutant rat was killed, the personal computer on the wrist would make a record. They were not afraid that someone would be greedy and claim credit later. Dongting City had been rebuilt for many years, so the basic system was still quite perfect. More and more people rushed to the front line. Lin Luoran found that many people had formed teams. It could be seen that the next attack would definitely not be low-rank mutant beasts like mutant rats. Dust surged on the horizon. There were sounds of hooves and the dust was noisy. What appeared in Lin Luoran's vision was fierce and barbaric cattle. Different from the docile cattle before the new era, these mutant cattle with black hooves had great brute force. The sharp horns on their heads could even break through a slightly thin alloy plate. Ordinary people would definitely die if they met mutant cattle outside the city. However, the soldiers in the front line were waiting in formation at this time. Many people were excited. Lin Luoran was puzzled and asked Lu Yiming in a low voice. There was a hint of sarcasm on the teenager's face. Mutant cowhide is hard and wear-resistant. It is the favorite raw material for military boots of the Alpha Alliance Army. It has always occupied a large proportion of the Earth's exports to the Alpha Alliance. Compared with the worthless mutant rats, it is a good thing. Are they military supplies exported to the Alpha Alliance? It was not surprising that Lu Yiming had such an attitude towards the Alliance army that once trampled on the earth. Lin Luoran looked up to the southwest. On the edge of the Tibetan plateau, there was the Himalayas, also known as the roof of the world. The Alpha Alliance stationed troops on the earth in the name of peacekeeping. Peacekeeping? One day, she would kick these people of the Afar Alliance out of the earth. Lu Yiming noticed that the young woman standing in front of him exuded a sharp breath. The mutant cattle were almost killed, but Aunt Lin still didn't do anything. He had to step forward and whispered to remind her, "Aunt Lin, if you don't kill any citizens in defending the city, you will be kicked out of the city after 3 consecutive times." Level 5 warriors needed to fight all the time. Only blood could make heroes. The New Earth Federation was not greedy for peace, which comforted Lin Luoran more or less. Temporary predicament was not a dead end. Only when the aborigines of a nation, a country, or a planet all lost their fighting spirit, it was a spiritual colonization. With Lin Luoran's eyesight, she could clearly see the Dongting citizens on the front line. They surrounded the cattle as if they didn't care about their lives. Only by killing mutant beasts could there be trade, energy, food, and survival. Such a belief supported the humans of the new era to endure the pain of gene evolution fluid injection and fight with mutant beasts with cold weapons. Did they subconsciously treat those ugly mutated beasts as substitutes for some other forces? Lin Luoran saw a young man alone surrounded by 2 mutant cattle. A large amount of blood came out of his lower abdomen when the cattle's horns hit him. It was a horrible sight. The young man cursed in a low voice but still struggled to support himself. Lin Luoran felt that there was a seed in her heart, and it gave birth to the hot blood of a young man. God knows how long she hadn't been so hot-blooded and reckless except for family matters. "Yiming, come with me to kill mutant beasts." "Yes, Aunt Lin." Lin Luoran rushed out of the city gate. She was like a big bird above the green wheat ears. She came to the front line of the battle 2 or 3 miles away in a few leaps. Lu Yiming was a little inferior. The effect of lightness spell had not expired yet. He ran as vigorous as an antelope. People who saw it would applaud in their hearts. What a great skill! A captain guarding the city gate thought to himself. He didn't know which district the master came from. He happened to appear in the defense of Juzhou district today. It seemed that the defense of the city today would be fruitful on high-level mutant beasts. Lin Luoran rushed over and saved the young man with a big hole in his abdomen. She quickly pressed several acupuncture points on his body and put a piece of old ginseng under his tongue. "Let me borrow your sword for a while." The young man was seriously injured and was replaced by someone. He was relaxed. Not to mention an alloy sword, he was even willing to give up something more precious. The medical team carried him on a stretcher and sent him back to the city. The young man wanted to thank his savior, but he was seriously injured. He could barely open his eyes and saw a slender and tall figure. Is it a woman? Holding the sword, made of unknown material in her hand, Lin Luoran killed a mutant cattle with every move. Although the world is now unified, most of the people living in Dongting City are former Huaxia people with black hair and yellow skin. They are all her compatriots she was familiar with. Exposing her strength is nothing. Lin Luoran has made a choice at this time. It is better to search for the whereabouts of her family in a low-key way than to do it in a high profile. There must be one party shining in the light so that the other party will have a greater chance to find it. Let her be the target. Lu Yiming is stunned. He has long known that Aunt Lin is very powerful. However, isn't it too fierce to kill a thick-skinned mutant cattle with one sword? The young man swallows because of envy. He is absent-minded and is almost hit by a bull's horn. He presses the switch of the alloy sword hilt in a hurry. The sword pops out and shines. This is the alloy sword made by the Federation for Ma Ming in the past. It is far better than the common goods in other people's hands. It is not only convenient to carry but also extremely sharp. Lu Yiming can be rated as a level 5 warrior with such a weapon. Lin Luoran glances at the place. Seeing that Lu Yiming can protect himself, she is relieved. She jumps high and steps on the backs of several cattle. She slashes at a slightly smaller black cow in the herd. It can deceive others, but it can't deceive her spiritual mind. It is said that beasts can also communicate with each other. This little black cow frequently emits mental fluctuations that are difficult for humans to detect. It must be the leader of this herd of mutant cattle. To catch bandits, first catch the king. In the monster forest, Lin Luoran has fought with more terrifying monsters countless times. She doesn't need to use Wacken. With her experience, she is sure to kill this mutant cattle leader with one blow. Seeing the last edition, the woman with amazing combat power jumps high and slashes at the inconspicuous little black cow with her sword. Many warriors feel strange secretly. The mutant cattle leader senses the crisis and instinctively retreats. However, the sharp sword falls. It hides under the cover of other cattle. It only feels cold on its neck and then it loses consciousness. Black blood spills all over the ground and the little black cow's head is thrown into the air. Lin Luoran reaches out to catch it and takes out a large inner bolus. The personal computer given by Mr. Zheng is really not a counterfeit. The inner bolus shows a value of 59. This cattle leader who is less than rank 6 can really be the leader of this herd of mutant cattle with the strength of rank 3 or 4. Lin Luoran stands on the back of the cattle as if she is walking on the ground. She wears a simple and retro green dress, which stupefies a group of warriors. The herd of cattle loses its leader and no longer attacks humans. It retreats as fast as the tide. Thousands of warriors on the front line are so quiet that no sound can be heard. You should know, the beautiful woman looks down and says slowly. Chapter 420. After 3 seconds of silence, the warriors on the front line respond loudly. Even the soldiers on the wall far away applaud Lin Luoran's words. Life and war are the portrayal of the Earthlings in the new era. Whether they stay on the Earth or go to Pluto to reclaim the wasteland, their work is to fight against the environment, the Alpha Alliance, and humanity. The end of the world is sudden and the desperation of the internal and external troubles have exposed the ugliest side of human nature. Some people have even devoured the flesh and blood of their own kind. Rebuilding the city is also rebuilding human nature. Human beings in the new era are standing up from the dead end. Lin Luoran can see the ambition in their eyes that they are unwilling to be colonized. The way out is to be stronger, individual stronger, nation stronger, and planet stronger. What kind of bullshit rank 1 member star is? Without equal strength, the so-called member star is just a more elegant name for the colony. Maybe someone takes the lead to command. When the mantis monster appears, it is more powerful than before. However, the warriors don't flinch. Lin Luoran takes the lead to face the difficulties. She doesn't use Wacken but only secular martial arts. She has to show everyone the fighting power brought by practicing fighting skills and internal force to the peak. Cultivation is elusive, but almost everyone can learn martial arts. The sword pierced the praying mantis and the flying stinger mutated cockroaches. There were constantly people who were injured and being treated. The injuries of their companions stimulated the martial artists. They don't know that the average rank 5 martial arts can also play such an effect. Blood of various colors stains the scorched land. When everyone returns to the city exhausted, they see the mechanism in front of the crop belt turning over the corpses of various mutant monsters. When the officer guarding the city orders to launch Light of Purification, it means that this monster tide has ended. The power of Light of Purification kills all the monsters coming later. Their skin and flesh are destroyed, leaving only charred skeletons. Lin Luoran is also a little shocked. With such a large-scale weapon of mass destruction, the Earth Federation still retreats under the attack of the Alpha Alliance. How much does the Huaxia cultivators pay for the shelter of gods, of the Tower of Babel that turned the tide? She is a little dispirited and returns to the city with Lu Yiming. In this defense, many people only saw the superficial data. For example, The number of high-level mutant beasts killed by Juzhou District was the highest in history. Most people give credit to Lin Luoran, who is a stranger to them. However, few people notice that it is because of Lin Luoran that the scattered warriors are united. That's why they can complete the task that seems so far away. Less than half an hour after the end of the defense war, a data analysis report of the 4 fortresses is marked as confidential and is delivered to the desk of the high-level officials of the Dongting City Hall of the Federation. He was a middle-aged man in his 40s. Perhaps it was because he was in a high position, but his every move was dignified. This person flipped through the analysis reports of the 4 strongholds one by one. Juzhou District's performance this time was very good, which piqued his interest, so he took a closer look. When he saw an unfamiliar expert appear, this important official did not pay too much attention. Huaxia pursues the doctrine of moderation. Even in the new era, there are many low-key masters in Dongting City, which used to be dominated by Huaxia people. It is not surprising that 1 or 2 of them appear occasionally. However, Lin Luoran kept a low profile when she forged her identity. The information in her personal computer was extremely inconsistent with her strength. It attracted the attention of the defense officer. When analyzing the information, he also applied for access to her file. Although the file is forged, it has to be said that Boss Zheng is very resourceful. Her new identity looks good. Her birth certificate is real, and even the school record is there. The only abnormality is that she uses her real name. The name Lin Luoran has long been forgotten with the past. In the past 300 years, there is no cultivator on the earth. Even if someone occasionally feels that her face is familiar, it is because they have seen the portrait of Mortal Heart Fairy. Different from Mortal Heart Fairy, the name Lin Luoran is extremely common for people outside the world of cultivation even before the new era 300 years ago. However, when this name appears together with a painted sculpture of Mortal Heart Fairy, this young important federal official almost knocks over the teacup on the table. Silver needles produced in Mount June. The environment of the Earth in the new era has been completely destroyed. The old tea trees from hundreds of years ago can only be found in Mount June. Therefore, important federal officials of Huaxiao nationality like it. Is it a coincidence? The important official tries to convince himself. However, this excuse is too weak because he has to go to Mount June to offer incense on behalf of the people every year. The middle-aged City Hall VIP was supposed to be calm and collected, but because of the appearance of this document, his eyes revealed extremely complicated emotions. He forces himself to calm down. He opens the drawer and takes out another intercepted document. It is recorded that 2 days ago, a man and a woman saw Mortal Heart Fairy on the edge of Dongting Lake. He thought it was a lie at that time, but what about now? When 2 coincidences are added up, it is not a coincidence anymore. Thinking of the force that secretly supports him to get the position, the important official still feels that he should pass the news out. The only question is whether someone is pretending to be Mortal Heart Fairy. He sneers silently. Someone will help him deal with those bold people who don't want to live. The signal turns into a wavelength invisible to the naked eye. It is sent from the office of the City Hall, penetrating the heavily polluted atmosphere over the Earth and transmitting to the bright starry sky. In the Himalayas, the miniature catcher is extremely sensitive. This wavelength still attracts attention. Because of the abnormality, the Smart Brain program sends a warning with a mechanical voice. Attention, abnormal encrypted signal is captured. Place of transmission, Dongting City of the Earth. Event level, Level 1. Level 1 event? Are the Earthlings like reptiles going to rebel? Lin Luoran, the true god, is too small to detect the secret events happening in every corner of the Earth all the time. Otherwise, her ocean of consciousness will collapse because of the chaos of information. At this time, Lin Luoran is taking Lu Yiming and his sister. Oh, they have just gone to the City Hall to change their surnames. Now they should be called Ma Yiming and Ma Shuangshuang. Suddenly, the surname Lu is changed to Ma. Ma Yiming already knows the whole story. However, Ma Shuangshuang, who has been protected, is obviously dizzy and can't accept it. Aunt Lin, my brother said that bad guys are looking for us, so he changed his surname and hid in Yang district. You also said that you were going to take back the home that was robbed by the bad guys. Are they the same group of bad guys? There are only 3 of us. Will it be dangerous? Lin Luoran laughs and comforts her. Silly girl, don't listen to your brother's nonsense. We are moving today, understand? Ma Shuang is confused. The villa in front of her is large and gorgeous. The open space in the yard is also much larger than her family's 2-bedroom house in Yang district. On the earth of the new era, the proportion of soil in the yard can even represent the power of a family. Aunt Lin said that she wants to take them to live in such a villa? Ma Shuang can't figure it out. The sun is a little strong and she feels uncomfortable standing for a long time. Chapter 421. Looking at the 3-story villa in front of her, Lin Luoran's eyes are even blurred for a moment. Similar, the layout is really similar. Just like the real estate developed by her second disciple Zheng Tian more than 300 years ago. She knows that it was rebuilt after the establishment of the Federation, and even the building materials are new, not to mention the red soil in the yard. The soil is precious and it is just a thin layer. It doesn't feel as solid as it used to be. What makes her confused is that the rebuilt villas are very similar to the ones developed by Zheng Tian on the edge of Dongting Lake in the past. Lin's, how can she forget Lin's, which is already a pharmaceutical tycoon? Like a bolt of lightning splitting the fog, Lin Luoran suddenly wakes up. If the Earth is invaded by the Alpha Alliance and there are mutant monsters, the Federation will not give up the pharmaceutical industry in addition to the military industry. Are these rebuilt villas built by Lin's pharmaceutical factory? She has a lot of thoughts in her mind. If the villa in front of her which once belonged to the Ma family has not been opened and someone has come out, Lin Luoran really wants to follow this clue regardless of anything else. Who are you? How can you break into a private house? The middle-aged man who is talking has a big belly. He is very impatient when he sees Ma Yiming and Ma Shuang wearing ordinary clothes like civilians in the city, but they break into this high-end residential area. In particular, the young man in his 20s stares at him as if his eyes are about to spit fire, which makes him inexplicably uneasy. However, when he turns his eyes, he sees Lin Luoran standing on the side. She is tall and slender and has snow-white skin, which is absolutely envied by women in the new era. The middle-aged man relaxes his expression and adjusts his most charming smile. He smiles very gentlemanly. Miss, you look very strange. Are you a newcomer to the community? If you have any difficulties, just tell me. Of course, neighbors should help each other. Lin Luoran pulls up the corner of her mouth and smiles like flowers blooming beside Dongting Lake. The middle-aged man is stunned by her smile. Throw him out. The beauty is like a spring breeze. Her cold words make the middle-aged man angry. Ma Yiming clenches his fists. Aunt Lin is here. Even if this enemy was a level 7 warrior 10 years ago, he has nothing to be afraid of. The youth did not know where he got the brute force from. Perhaps the hatred he had suppressed for many years had reached its peak, and suddenly erupted. He really threw the middle-aged man who was caught off guard. The middle-aged man rolled a few times on the ground. The high-class neighborhood was so clean that his clothes weren't stained with dirt. His suit was wrinkled, but he didn't look bad at all. What was even more unacceptable was that many residents in the community heard the commotion and opened their windows to see the scene from above. This was really a huge loss of face. A huge loss of face. He jumps up from the ground and wants to kick Ma Yiming from the waist to break his bones. However, the young man seems to be pulled by a string and slides into the yard. Ma Yiming is also stunned, and then realizes that Aunt Lin is helping him secretly, so that he could personally take revenge? Ma Yiming's heart is sour. He remembers that when he was a child, this middle-aged man bullied the Ma family. His widow mother took his brother and sister to occupy this big villa. However, he tricked his mother into saying that they were partners in business. In the end, of course, the business failed. This man brought an official of a federal department to collect the house as a mortgage. The widow mother realized that she had fallen into someone's trap. She was so angry that she vomited blood. She died in less than 3 days. This man knew that their family jade pendant was a little magical and he still wanted to get it. Ma Yiming fled with his 4-year-old sister. They were like rats crossing the street, picking up rotten leaves and smelly bones in the market. The past is still vivid in his mind. Ma Yiming's Adam's apple trembles and he presses the button of the alloy sword. Shuang Shuang, come in and see if the house is beautiful? Ma Shuang Shuang sees her brother fighting with someone without saying a word. She knows that this is the big enemy of her family. She is so anxious that she doesn't know what to do. She is afraid that her brother will accidentally kill someone. She is also afraid that her brother's martial arts skills are not as good as others and he will be hurt by villains. Her heart is like 100 deer jumping at the same time. Lin Luoran's voice comes across the yard. The unquestionable tone makes her have to step forward. It is not that she doesn't worry about her brother, but she may have to ask her aunt for help. Ma Shuang Shuang lifts her skirt and enters the house. She opens the door and sees Lin Luoran looking at the painting on the wall with her hands crossed. Shuang Shuang, do you like this painting? I don't think it is very classy. Can you take it down? Ma Shuang Shuang is so anxious that her eyes turn red. She is not in the mood to look at the painting. She can only nod randomly. Lin Luoran takes off the painting very rudely. A young woman curling up in the corner boldly scolds, "What are you doing in my house?" "My husband is..." Lin Luoran throws the painting on the ground and raises her eyebrows slightly. "Say it again, who is your husband?" The woman says, "My husband." She doesn't even say the word, "my husband," and then she doesn't continue. Lin Luoran hides the disdain in her eyes. Why can't these bad habits be changed after 300 years? Shuang Shuang, is it legal to have a mistress in the federal law? She keeps talking about her husband. Does she expect that we don't know her background? Know what background? Ma Shuang Shuang is stunned. She temporarily forgets that her brother is still fighting with someone. She subconsciously replies, "The federal law strictly forbids polygamy. If someone reports it, not only the one who keeps the mistress will be punished, but the mistress will also be sent to Pluto to reclaim the wasteland." The young woman's face turns pale. Lin Luoran smiles. "What? Haven't you heard it clearly?" She lowers her head and thinks the resentment in her eyes is well concealed. It is said that the legal wife came to the door, but her age is not right. The young woman is nervous. She hears a light sentence above her head. "Why don't you go? Are you waiting for me to throw you out?" The young woman is relieved. She doesn't dare to ask Lin Luoran for her jewelry and dress. She opens the door and runs out. She opens the door and sees that the middle-aged man is knocked down by a young man with a sword. He falls to the ground and groans. Ma Yiming stares at his alloy sword blankly. For a moment, he is surprised that his martial arts skills have made such great progress. He even forgets to kill the man. Many people in the community know this middle-aged man very well. They think that his mistress has been discovered. They are afraid that they will be involved. As the saying goes, when the carrot is pulled out, the mud is brought out. Who will care about this family's business? They stop watching and slam the windows and doors and close the door tightly. Should I kill him or not? Should I kill him or not? Ma Yiming stares at the middle-aged man who is injured and falls to the ground. For a moment, he thinks of the picture of his widow mother vomiting blood and dying. For a moment, he thinks of the clean eyes of his sister Ma Shuang Shuang and Aunt Lin. I can't kill him. Ma Yiming makes a decision in an instant. He has to take revenge. In addition to killing, there are many ways to do it. He can't let the blood of this evil man dirty the ground and his sister's eyes in front of the old house of the Ma family. Bao Honglai, let's take our revenge slowly, Ma Yiming sneers. He puts away the alloy sword and steps into the yard. Every brick and tile here has not changed for more than 10 years. The Ma family also has a glorious past. They are very careful to maintain this old house. It's just that his mother loved to grow some peppers and cucumbers in this yard. She was good at cooking and made the Chuan cuisine of Huaxia before the new era. It is said that the ancestor of his federal hero was from Chuan before the establishment of the new era federation. Ma Yiming looks at the yard that has been changed to roses. His eyebrows twitch. He has to tell Aunt Lin that he should still plant eggplants and peppers. The teenager runs back to the villa, leaving the crying young woman and the middle-aged man who falls to the ground. It's not that he doesn't want to get up. The damn thief broke his tendons. Bao Honglai grits his teeth in pain. He has enjoyed many years of happiness and his original martial arts has long been rusty. He is too careless. He is too careless. The young woman is still crying. Sir, what can we do? Or we can turn to Mr. Pang. Bao Honglai's eyes brighten. Thinking of something, he bears the pain and suddenly slaps the young woman in the face. Get out. I spoil you too much. What a bad idea. The young woman is stunned. She doesn't expect that her sugar daddy will turn against her. The sun is so bright that people can't open their eyes. She is cold and suddenly realizes her proposal. Although Mr. Pang is powerful, he is Bao Honglai's brother-in-law. If he stands up for her, her identity as a mistress will be exposed. Chapter 422. Mr. Pang finally knows that his brother-in-law has a mistress. At that time, Bao Honglai is ready to take action. He has already made an extremely vicious revenge plan. Mr. Pang's target is actually Lin Luoran, but he investigates all the way to the conflict in front of the villa. He thinks about it and doesn't warn Bao Honglai not to provoke Lin Luoran. He just tells the news to his sister. Bao Honglai has no time to deal with Lin Luoran. Lin Luoran is still waiting for him to make trouble so that she can change the owner of the villa. However, this person doesn't come for a long time. Ma Yiming's revenge is like a punctured balloon. A week has passed, and the Ma's villa has changed. Mr. Pang doesn't get a reply, but Bao Honglai has settled the backyard. Mr. Pang doesn't know how he deals with it. This not very smart brother-in-law obviously wants to take revenge again. Mr. Pang doesn't get a reply and he also wants to test Lin Luoran's strength, so he doesn't stop him. Lin Luoran doesn't know that a conspiracy against the three is brewing. Even if she knows, as long as the federal government doesn't want to eradicate evildoers, she doesn't bother to blink her eyes at these so-called masters of martial arts and spirit. When she was defending the city, she also saw the so-called masters of spirit. They can kill mutant monsters with spirit power alone. It is similar to spiritual mind but not the same. Residents in the high-end villa community can't help but look at the Ma's villa when they occasionally see it. People in the new era pay attention to privacy and this is a high-end villa community. They basically don't visit each other. Everyone feels that the scenery of the villa has completely changed overnight. The villa is close to the pedestrian walkway. 2 luxuriant trees are planted in the yard. The trunks are not big, but they are 3 stories high. They are full of yellow velvet flowers. They are not a species left on the earth in the new era. Maybe they are from another planet. Lin Luoran doesn't know what fruit they will bear. The stainless steel railings are wrapped with ivy. With low-hanging and lush branches, people can only vaguely see the anti-red brick structure of the villa's outer wall. The villa yard and the house itself are tightly covered. If someone is lucky enough to be invited to the Ma's house at this time, even ordinary rich people will be surprised by the scene in the yard. In the yard of more than 100 square meters, there is a swing hanging from a big tree. There is a set of stone seats under the tree. In the corner, there is a cluster of roses that has not been completely eradicated with some dew. Everywhere else, except for the gravel paths, had become vegetable fields. Chili was a must. Now, the 3 of them who were eating in the same pot all had the taste of Sichuan. They would not be happy without spicy food. The taste of Chuan cuisine was heavy. Garlic sprouts, coriander, chives, and fennel leaves were all planted. The pool of leeks was tender and adorable. There were also loofahs and winter melons on the big trees. There were also a few cucumbers planted on the corner of the wall. They were already 3 inches long and still had small flowers that had yet to wither. The dark purple eggplants were shiny with oil, and there were also a few cabbages. The wet rotten wood was covered with dense black fungus, filling up the entire yard of 100 square meters, leaving not a single gap. The early morning sun shines through the floor-to-ceiling window. Ma Shuang closes the door. Occasionally, she looks a little confused when she looks at the yard. Not to mention outsiders, even she and her brother were speechless when they woke up one night and saw the new scenery in the courtyard. Aunt Lin was indeed a person with secrets. The brother and sister came to a common understanding and did not ask in detail. Brother, What do you want to eat this morning? Ma Shuang looks at the kitchen. She never gets tired of eating white rice. Aunt Lin said that breakfast should be light. She holds back her desire and gives up the idea of eating white rice with braised pork every day. Hearing his sister's question, Ma Yiming opens his eyes from the big bed. This is the room on the second floor facing the sun, where he lived when he was a child. It seems that since Aunt Lin came to the door, the life of the brother and sister has changed dramatically. He sleeps very deeply at night and will no longer wake up in the middle of the night because of the things buried in his heart. Ma Yiming hears the sound of the spatula downstairs and shouts loudly, Shuang, be careful not to burn your hands with the oil. You put it down. Let me do it. He turns over and gets out of bed. He drives Ma Shuang from the kitchen to the living room. Ma Yiming looks at the kitchen. Like his sister, he also struggles between braised pork and braised pork. His eyes fall on the dumplings in the refrigerator. Isn't it good to eat dumplings for breakfast? Before the water in the pot boils, the wind chimes hanging on the iron fence in the yard ring. Lin Luoran walks into the shade of the tree in the sunshine. She is carrying 2 fish in her hand. The fins on the back are tied by reed grass. They are shaking. It seems that she just caught them. Ma Shuang stares at the fish suspiciously. Aunt Lin, where did you buy this? Since the establishment of the Federation, clean water resources are scarce. Except for Dongting City, other human gathering places have to purify their drinking water. They are not willing to raise aquatic products. Therefore, fish, shrimps and crabs, as long as they grow in the water, are not much different from fruits and are extremely expensive. Except for her childhood, this is the first time for Ma Shuang to see a live fish jumping in front of her. I caught them in the lake to make fish porridge for you. They are not nutritious, so they are not good for your health. Lin Luoran throws the fish into the pool. Ma Yiming is in a daze with the kitchen knife in his hand. He always knows that his new aunt does not abide by federal laws and regulations. However, catching fish from Dongting Lake in broad daylight? How dare she? They have never eaten aquatic products before. They are afraid of making a simple fish porridge. Ma Yiming kills the fish and Lin Luoran does it herself. When Lin Luoran cuts the fish fillets are thin and the bones are gone. In Ma Yiming's eyes, this is simply an unfamiliar knife skill. How can she make porridge? When the fragrant rice porridge in the space has been emitting rice fragrance in the pot, Lin Luoran puts the finely chopped shiitake mushrooms and ginger into the pot. The fish fillets are put in last. She sprinkles some chopped green onion and the aroma fills the room. Because of the high temperature, the pickles made in the jar 2 days ago are now ready to be eaten. Ma Shuang eats 2 bowls of porridge with pickles. Then she remembers that the fish head is not in the pot. She asks curiously. Lin Luoran just smiles mysteriously. Fish head is also a delicious dish. Let's eat it at noon. The brother and sister have never been disappointed by Aunt Lin's delicious words. Ma Shuang swallows secretly and feels that she is getting more and more greedy. Can fish head also be used as a dish? What to do? The little girl is still thinking, but she hears Lin Luoran puts down the bowl and says, Shuang, shall we make clothes for fun after lunch? Make clothes? Ma Shuang's eyes light up. In the new era, things are simple. Besides, for the convenience of fighting, both men and women's clothes are relatively close-fitting. There is no style to speak of. Ma Shuang has long been envious of Lin Luoran's simple and retro dress. Can I also make clothes? Ma Shuang looks gloomy. Because her brother has protected her so well, she can hardly do anything. Lin Luoran nods affirmatively. Can you weave small things? No problem. Look, this thread almost doesn't go through. Be careful. Ma Shuang's forehead is covered with fine sweat. She needs to be highly concentrated, which makes her feel extremely tired. Ma Yiming is practicing a set of boxing skills. Seeing that his sister is still struggling with the old loom, he is speechless. He doesn't know where Aunt Lin got a set of old-fashioned wooden loom. It's a handmade loom. No one used it before the new era, right? If others know it, they must send it to the Dongting City Museum. That pile of green silk thread was smooth and cold to the touch, But how long would it take to weave it into cloth and then make it into clothes? If men are not born with no talent for these trifles, Ma Yiming would like to help his sister. With the shade of trees, Ma Shuangshuang, who is constantly working, sweats quickly. Lin Luoran makes the meal and asks her to take a bath first. Do you still use a wooden bucket, Aunt Lin? Lin Luoran nods and Ma Shuangshuang rushes back to the room happily. Aunt Lin is more careful than her brother. She also understands girls' minds, so she makes a huge wooden bucket for her in the bathroom. Every time she is tired in the yard and goes back to the room, there will be a bucket of special water. With a slight fragrance and petals floating on the water, Ma Shuangshuang even feels that she is an ancient princess at this moment. Seeing her sister going upstairs happily, Lin Luoran sprinkles a layer of chopped green and red pepper on the surface of the fish head left in the morning and steams it on the stove. He can't help but ask what he has been hiding for a long time. Aunt Lin about Shuangshuang's illness. Finally, he can't help but ask. Lin Luoran doesn't look back. She puts some powder into the dish and says slowly, when the clothes are ready, Shuangshuang's illness will almost be cured. Ma Yiming is skeptical. Chapter 423. To be precise, knitting clothes was also a form of treatment, and soaking in baths was not wrong either. The thin strands extracted from the plant fiber had been soaked in medicinal water. His bath water was filled with concentrated herbal essence. His daily meals and drinks were also filled with medicinal powder. The prescription is also very simple. The bone marrow cleansing pill can be changed into a prescription for leukemia. For people like Ma Shuangshuang who are congenitally deficient, they only need to remove a few medicines. After all, the trouble is that there is a kind of heat poison in Ma Shuangshuang's body. She is cold on the outside and hot on the inside. The little girl's body is so poor that the treatment seems a little troublesome. She sighs at Bao Honglai's cruel means in those days. At the same time, she also feels lucky to meet the two siblings. If it is 2 years later, Ma Shuangshuang will die no matter whether Ma Yiming has saved enough money to buy gene enhancement fluid or not. In the dead of night, the siblings of the Ma family have fallen asleep. Lin Luoran takes down the screen. The electronic clock pointed to 4 o'clock in the morning. She still did not find any deeper clues that day. For example, at the beginning of the new Federation, Lin's pharmaceutical factory played a great role in fighting against human diseases caused by cosmic radiation. With years of experience in managing the waters of Dongting, Lin's pharmaceutical factory developed a circulation system that can purify polluted water in a short time. This is the biggest condition that other human settlements on the Earth can be preserved. This water circulation system had even been used until the year 301 of the new era. Lin's pharmaceutical factory, which had made significant contributions to the Federation, disappeared in the 32nd year of the new era and was completely separated from the Earth Federation. The only thing that can be connected is that the year was 2061 AD. The Alpha Alliance extended a helping hand to human beings and gene evolution fluid was the top priority. Gene evolution fluid? Lin Luoran presses a button on her personal computer. A hidden slot pops out and a tube of blue liquid in a transparent glass appears. She had bought it at the market yesterday. The most expensive gene evolution fluid that could be found on the market was priced at 200,000 crystal coins, which allowed her to exchange for a lot of mutant beast cores. However, in Lin Luoran's eyes, this expensive gene evolution fluid, which is sold for 200,000 crystal coins and is said to be able to give ordinary people a chance to break through level 9 martial arts, is really worthless. Forcefully developing the potential of the human body would cut off the path of future breakthroughs. Lin Luoran finds that all the people who have been injected with the gene evolution fluid can no longer sense Reiki molecules. In other words, while they obtained the shortcut to strength, they lost the path to immortality. Was it because Lin's pharmaceutical factory discovered this problem, and then it disappeared? Lin Luoran puts away the evolution fluid. Her mind is full of conspiracy theories. What does the Alpha Alliance want to do to the Earth? They paid a huge price just for one more colonial planet? The excuse of mining is not enough to make the Alpha Alliance army come across the galaxy, right? It can't be a conspiracy, unless Lin Luoran suddenly sits up on the bed. Unless this was a conspiracy against the cultivators? Wait, don't worry. Lin forces herself to calm down. What she knows is that a fake saintess came to the earth in the period of Yen Huang and manipulated the rise and fall of the world of cultivation. In the Tower of Babel, more than 1,000 years ago, gathering vitality cultivators and monsters disappeared on a large scale. More than 1,000 years later, the Alpha Alliance suddenly attacked the Earth. The last elites of the world of cultivation on the Earth all disappeared. The fake saintess. She has to go to the Kalahari Desert. Lin Luoran feels that the answer may be hidden in the underground world. If it were not for the Ma siblings who are ordinary people, she would like to leave for the Kalahari Desert immediately. The Earth is in great trouble. Is the seal of the crazy Taoist still effective? Lin Luoran is a little uneasy. Her mind is confused and she doesn't sleep well. When she wakes up, she almost doesn't have breakfast. After telling Ma Shuangshuang to continue weaving, Lin Luoran feels gloomy. She walks by Dongting Lake and goes to the women's toilet in the Riverside Park. She makes a mini world and flies to Mount June. There are towering trees and knee-high weeds. She just wants to be alone and this environment is suitable. Lin Luoran walks slowly through this quiet Mount June. There are no birds or beasts, which reminds her of the lively days in the past. When she showed up as a ghost for the first time, there might be tens of thousands of tourists on Mount June. Things are different now. Mount June is protected by the federal government. No wonder it is so deserted. Lin Luoran suddenly freezes when she thinks about this. If the federal government protects Mount June, does it mean that no believers will come to her Taoist field to worship? No wonder it is said that Mortal Heart Fairy blesses the waters of Dongting and makes it a pure land of the Federation. However, the faith groups in her ocean of consciousness do not increase much. Lin Luoran is suspicious. She even wonders if someone deliberately stops her from condensing her godhead. She inadvertently shows some emotions on her lips. It is a chilling smile. Unfortunately, 300 years later, she not only returns safely but also comes back with a condensed godhead. Whether it is kindness or hatred, she still has a long time to settle the score. Lin Luoran remembers the magical effect of holy spell that Fire Phoenix said. She is about to try to contact devout believers on the earth to understand the situation. However, she has inadvertently walked to the former temple of the two concubines. Speaking of which, her painted sculpture in front of Lu Yiwell is still beautiful, but the temple of the two concubines has been ruined. Lin Luoran remembers the colorful painted sculpture of the two concubines in the past. She stops and removes the weeds around the tomb of the two concubines. She also uses the cleaning spell to remove the thick dust on the painted sculpture. Even if the dust is removed, the paint has been modeled. There is no colorful Reiki in the eyes, which makes Lin Luoran feel very sorry. She sees another cluster of weeds growing out from the gap between the two painted sculptures. She pulls them out after going around them. However, there is a piece of cinnabar yellow paper on the back of the painted sculpture. Who pasted two strange things behind the painted sculpture of the two concubines? Different from the magic figures of the Qingqing Taoist temple, the lines on it are messy. There is no wacken. Lin Luoran doesn't know who is messing around. Lin Luoran takes it gently. A strange wind blows and several old bamboos on both sides of the tomb are rustling and shaking. Lin Luoran recognizes that it is the tear-stained Xiang Fei bamboo. She puts her hand on the bamboo with nostalgia. A warm current rushes out of her palm and goes to the old bamboo. Lin Luoran is shocked. She thinks it is a trap. She wants to let it go, but she can't. Is the bamboo a monster? It should absorb wacken instead of the power of faith? Two groups of light fly up from the old bamboo and float into the sculptures. The mottled and broken statues of the two concubines come back to life after hundreds of years. In the mottled light and shadow, the eyes of the painted sculptures are full of colorful light. The light is getting brighter and brighter. Lin Luoran has seen countless scenes, but she is also stunned by such brilliance for a moment. When she comes to herself, the two painted sculptures have come back to life. The two beauties walk down the desk hand in hand. The woman on the left is gentle and smiles at Lin. Even though she is smiling, she can't hide her sadness. Are you Mortal Heart Fairy? Lin Luoran nods. She has guessed their identity, but she doesn't dare to believe it. The woman on the right is slightly heroic. She smiles but doesn't lose her noble spirit. We have been neighbors for many years. I didn't expect to see you today. It can be seen that karma and chance are the most unpredictable. Lin Luoran is still holding the bamboo with one hand. Her chest is surging as if thousands of words are about to rush out at the same time. However, like an old acquaintance, she says in surprise, "Why are you here?" Chapter 424. It's not accurate to say that Xiaofei and Xiangfei are immortals. They are just small officials who are worshipped by incense. When they first became conscious, it was in the late years of the Tang dynasty of Huaxia before the new era. Because of the hundreds of years of worship, the clay statue also had spirituality, but it was very small. If it weren't for the protection of the old bamboo overflowing with Reiki in front of the tomb of the two concubines, it would have been diluted by the turbid air of the human world. At that time, Mount June was not prosperous. There were still many mountain ghosts like the two concubines in Huaxia who were worshipped and had some magical powers. The two sisters knew they were weak, so they focused on cultivation and ignored the world. Occasionally, they could help some devout pilgrims to solve some trifles. They were already very satisfied. Hundreds of years passed in the mountains and it was the Qing dynasty. The Yin spirits of the two concubines had been formed. However, the government of Yuezhou sent people to rebuild the golden bodies of the two concubines and move the old bamboos. It almost killed the two concubines. They had been cultivating hard for nearly 1,000 years. One day, they encountered a disaster and their souls were almost destroyed. It was Taoist Jiang who happened to pass by Mount June. My sisters boldly met him. He was kind-hearted. After listening to my sister's suffering, he went to the Sea of Bamboos to find a cluster of old bamboos to balance the qi of Dragon Yang here. Taoist Jiang? Lin Luoran holds the old bamboo and remembers that when she first got the inheritance of the Dragon Palace and won the fierce battle with Exen Yuanping, the crazy Taoist took Lu Zheng to clean the table of the painted sculptures of the two concubines. At that time, she only felt that the crazy Taoist was crazy. It turns out that he was an old friend of the two concubines. The yellow one is the biggest one, which is Xiaofei, who reveals her sorrow before she speaks. The female one is the second one, which is Xiangfei, who is full of heroic spirit. The two concubines were born with the power of wishes. Pilgrims put their expectations on them. Therefore, one is soft and the other is hard, which is consistent with the two wives of Emperor Shun in the legend. As for the legend, it has never been accurate. Xiaofei and Xiangfei don't exist in the long river of history. Lin Luoran listens to the origin of the two concubines and thinks of the yellow paper she took before. That yellow paper is also Master Jiang? The heroic Xiangfei nods. When the alien barbarians invaded, my sisters couldn't bear to see the residents of Dongting Lake suffering. We tried to protect them, but our souls were almost shattered because we overestimated ourselves. If Taoist Jiang hadn't come and gathered the souls of my sisters together, and after more than 200 years of cultivation and the nourishment of the power of faith of Mortal Heart Fairy today. Concubine Xiao smiled warmly and bowed. My sister is talking nonsense. Please forgive me, Mortal Heart Fairy. Lin Luoran has long guessed that the sudden appearance of the two concubines must have something to do with the heat current that rushed into the old bamboo. However, she didn't expect that the power of faith that she has always ignored has such a magical effect. She carefully let go of the old bamboo. The two concubines were still standing there with a smile. Lin Luoran knows that they don't need much power of faith. She is relieved and stops supporting Mr. Bamboo. I won't hide it from you too. When the disaster breaks out, the relatives and friends of the Lin family want to enter the Dragon Palace. They must pass by the two concubines' temple. Luoran wants to ask, did they have the same number of people when they went in and out? She doesn't even hope that these two concubines can know the whereabouts of the Lin family. As long as the number of people when they went in and out of the Dragon Palace is the same, it can at least prove that the Lin family will continue to lose people after the disaster. The two concubines look at each other and smile like flowers. My sister and I are indebted to Taoist Jiang. He also asked us to tell you a message if we are destined to meet mortal heart fairy. Xiao Fei's eyes are gentle and magnanimous. Her tone is gentle, as if she didn't see that Lin Luoran's breath is red and she can't wait to hear the message left by the crazy Taoist. Taoist Jiang told you not to go to the Tower of Babel to find them, told you not to go to the Tower of Babel to find them. The sun is shining and the shadows of the bamboos are fluttering. The extravagant hope in Lin Luoran's heart is ruthlessly extinguished. Before she has a bitter smile, she hears that Xiang Fei turns the heroic spirit between her eyebrows into naughtiness. She drawls and continues, they won't be in the Tower of Babel. The place where the Huaxia world of cultivation goes is not only far away from the earth but also limited by the law of heaven and earth. However, Taoist Jiang said that if you can come back from Mount Penglai one day, you are destined to see them again in the vast starry sky. Xiang Fei's words are firm and powerful. Lin Luoran feels like she has been injected with a cardiac stimulant. Her limbs and bones are full of strength and the mist in her eyes disappears without wind. The message left by an old friend is still such a guarantee. Lin Luoran takes a deep breath. Since she finds the earth has changed beyond recognition and she doesn't know whether the Lin family is alive or not, this is the second good news after meeting Ma Ming's descendants. The gloom in her heart disappears and she only feels that what Xiang Fei said is very reasonable. Yes, since she can come back from the Misty Mountain, she has done all the impossible things. Of course, what the crazy Taoist said is not nonsense. Lin Luoran talks for a while and asks about the details of that year. She knows that the Lin family was calm when they entered the Dragon Palace. They were not emaciated when they went to the Tower of Babel with the crazy Taoist. They didn't choose to go to the Tower of Babel because they had nowhere to go. What the crazy Taoist said is somewhat credible. Seeing that the sun is getting brighter, the personal computer on her wrist buzzes. Ma Yiming tells her to have lunch. Xiaofei and Xiang Fei are spirits of Yin and they can't stay under the hot sun for a long time. This is not a good time to talk, so Lin Luoran has to say goodbye to them. Lin Luoran is in a good mood because the gloom in her heart disappears a lot. She casts a water-gathering spell and catches some fish and shrimps in the shoal of Mount June Island. She wraps them in the big lotus leaves by the lake and carries them home. It is actually the villa of the Ma family. Lin Luoran regards the two siblings as her juniors. At this moment, she is in a good mood. Thinking of the villa she has redesigned, she feels the warmth of a home. When she walks away, the two concubines return to the painted sculpture and talk silently. Now it seems that this mortal heart fairy is quite easy to talk to. My sister and I don't have to worry about being beaten to death in her Taoist field. However, you coax her with words. Aren't you afraid that when we meet Taoist Jiang in the future and confront each other, you and I will become untrustworthy? Xiao Fei says with worry. Xiang Fei doesn't take it seriously. Taoist Jiang said that our neighbor is quite soft-hearted. I think she will be willing to help us. Besides, Xiang Fei changes the topic with some slyness. Besides, Mortal Heart Fairy will be very happy that Taoist Jiang can bring Huaxia cultivators back. How can she blame us for the half-true message? Sister, don't you want Taoist priest Jiang to come back? Xiao Fei doesn't say anything. They are spirits of Yin born with the power of vow. Xiao Fei and Xiang Fei represent women's faithfulness since ancient times. She and her sister naturally have such factors in their characters. Thinking of Jiang Shang who saved the two sisters twice, Xiao Fei feels resentful. He has been gone for almost 300 years. Even though the spirits of Yin have a long life, they don't know if they can meet again in this life. As for Xiang Fei who tells half a lie, she is very confident in the crazy Taoist Jiang. Good people don't live long, but bad people will definitely live for hundreds of years. Her sister really worries for nothing. In the villa, Ma Yiming has already prepared the meal. Lin Luoran raises the snails and freshwater shellfish in the water tank to spit sand. Ma Yiming sees that Aunt Lin seems to be in a good mood today. He thinks about it and can't help asking, Aunt Lin, where did you buy the mutant pork you brought back? I bought it. It doesn't taste the same no matter how it is cooked. Lin Luoran smiles and says perfunctorily, "You don't have a good control of the heat. Will I tell you that it is real monster meat?" Lin Luoran sees Ma Shuangshuang smile and asks if the little girl is weaving seriously today. Ma Shuangshuang nods while eating. Weaving is very fun. She doesn't know if it is her illusion. These days, when she moves her hands and feet, her cold limbs gradually become warm. After lunch, Ma Shuangshuang sits under the eaves and weaves. Ma Yiming is practicing fighting skills. Lin Luoran sees that his moves are extremely clean and neat, so she asks him if it is the fighting skills used by the Federal Army. Ma Yiming takes back his fist and feels sorry. "Aunt Lin, you have good eyesight. This set of boxing skills was taught by my ancestors. There was also a set of inner strength mantra in those days. Unfortunately, the Ma family didn't pass it down. It is said that it was first created by a female general surnamed Lin in the army before the new era. What a coincidence." Lin Luoran's heart moves and she asks, "A female general surnamed Lin? Do you know her full name?" Ma Yiming scratches his head. "I only remember her surname is Lin and her name has the character Shui. I was too young at that time. I heard it from my grandfather, but I can't remember it clearly." Female general surnamed Lin, fighting skills, with the character Shui in her name. Lin Luoran can almost conclude that she is Lin Qingxue, the captain of the special forces in the past. It has been more than 300 years. Lin Luoran can't help but feel nostalgic whenever she hears someone who impressed her in the past. Lin Qingxue, the female captain who didn't lose to any man. Although she is an ordinary person, she must have left her mark in history, right? In the dream world of Mount Fuji, the female officer who was willing to carve her name on her wrist in order to protect her original consciousness later became a female general of Huaxia. The sunlight passes through the thick shade and is cut into light spots like broken glass pieces. Ma Yiming sees Lin Luoran has a nostalgic look on her face again. Every time Aunt Lin shows this look, he feels that the beautiful woman in front of him is alienated as if she will be blown away by the breeze on the shore of Dongting Lake at any time. "Aunt Lin, can those small shells also be cooked? It seems that the shells are more than the meat." Ma Yiming changes the topic and pulls Lin Luoran back from nostalgia. Lin Luoran smiles mysteriously, "Of course. You can taste it when you spit out all the sand in the lake tomorrow." Ma Shuangshuang covers her mouth and smiles. She is about to talk when she hears someone shouting outside. Chapter 425. Evil guests come to the door. The public officials of the security department of the Dongting City Hall seem to be righteous. They ring the doorbell politely outside the yard. Lin Luoran opens the door. Her face is even colder than theirs. They have received a report that there are bandits occupying other people's houses. Their waists are bulging and they are equipped with hot weapons. It seems that as long as Lin Luoran resists arrest, they can punish her on the spot. Ma Shuangshuang's heart is in her throat. Of course, she and Ma Yiming know that the current Ma's villa is a little violent. Although they are the original owners of the house and they were cheated in the past, they are not in the right now. Lin Luoran coldly waits for the two public officials to finish. Then she closes the door and asks them to leave. The two look at each other. Sure enough, Mr. Bao is right. The people who occupy the house ignore the federal law and are too arrogant. The two hold the magical pistols on their waists and feel more confident. One of them sneers silently and rings the doorbell again. This time, no one opens the door for them. Only a piece of snow-white paper is handed out from the door. The people of the security department can't help but pick it up. After seeing the words on the paper, their expressions become very strange. They are unwilling but they can only apologize awkwardly, "Sorry to bother you. There seems to be some misunderstanding." The villa is silent for a long time. The two go back with embarrassment. Of course, they have no right to blame Bao Honglai. 2 hours later, this snow-white paper appears on Mr. Pang's desk. Mr. Pang determines at a glance that this house transfer contract is fake. Even if there is his brother-in-law's signature and bright red handprint on it, the dazzling number of 1 crystal coin still makes Mr. Pang feel ridiculous and he can't help laughing. Bao Honglai comes to the office of his brother-in-law who is more than 10 years younger than him. When he sees the white paper on the table, his eyes widen. This is not signed by me. Even if he is crazy, he will not sell a villa to others at the price of 1 crystal coin. She is not the daughter of the federal president. Mr. Pang points to the end of the word, lie. I have asked someone to identify it. It is 100% the same as your notes. Except that it has not come to the city hall to transfer the ownership. The owner of this villa has actually been someone else. He flicked the snow-white paper. It was really a good piece of paper. With the handprints and notes, there was really no trace of it being fake. Bao Honglai's eyes widened. Impossible. You know that I never sign paper contracts. Bao Honglai wasn't lying about this. Ever since he made a few big deals using paper contracts, he learned from those fools and never touched this old-fashioned form of contract. He always used his personal computer to do things. Once the contract was finalized, the city hall would keep the evidence. It couldn't be any fairer. Bao Honglai's expression is wonderful. Mr. Pang sees it and indicates that it's none of his business. Bao Honglai has never been imposing in front of his brother-in-law. He gets up and leaves with a flattering and funny smile. Don't touch that family. Otherwise, it won't look good at the banquet in 3 days. Bao Honglai was taken aback. If the banquet 3 days later didn't look good, did that mean that the descendant of the Ma family was also invited to attend the banquet? The invitation to the town hall arrived in the evening. The invitations were sent by 2 heroic soldiers. Unfortunately, Lin Luoran is neither a fan of uniforms nor interested in this celebratory banquet of the town hall. Ma Shuangshuang is very curious about the dark red invitation with a silk bow. Ma Yiming is in a trance. His grandfather once attended a similar party before he died. Later, the Ma family declined and became a military family. However, his sister didn't even have the opportunity to attend such an occasion. He is somewhat regretful. Lin Luoran sees the reluctance on Ma Yiming's face. She asks with a hint of playfulness, "Do you want to go?" Ma Yiming is a little flustered. "Of course not. Aunt Lin, I am not a fool. They obviously want to invite you." Lin Luoran flicks the invitation with her hand. "If you want to go, let's go. Anyway, we don't lack crystal coins and we don't need to defend the city. Shuangshuang's cloth is almost finished. Life is really boring." Ma Yiming has the same feeling. Yes, since Aunt Lin found him and his sister, they don't have to worry about food and clothing. Life is very comfortable. Ma Yiming often forgets that he is living in the new era federation where everyone has to work. Ma Shuangshuang carefully puts away the invitation. "Aunt Lin, what should we do with that pile of small shells? Braised?" The shrimp and shells she brought back have all spat out the lake sand. Ma Shuangshuang doesn't know where to start. Lin Luoran shakes her head again and again. How can freshwater shellfish be braised? What a waste. Lin Luoran washes the shrimp and shells. The freshwater shellfish is smashed with garlic cloves and steamed with minced garlic. She picks out a slightly large part of green shrimp and makes boiled shrimp, that is, boiled shrimp. She puts some ginger slices to remove the fishy smell. She minces ginger and extremely spicy wild pepper. She mixes soy sauce and a few drops of vinegar to make the dipping sauce. It retains the original tenderness of the lake shrimp. It is a favorite dish of the Lin family before the new era. As for the rest of the shrimp, she stir-fry it in the oil pan with bean sauce. Finally, she puts in green onion and green and red pepper rings. There is a choking fragrance even before it is out of the pan. Ma Yiming coughs while eating. Lin Luoran nods and the table is full of food. Ma Shuangshuang likes steamed shellfish with garlic. She is worried that she will taste garlic in her mouth after eating, so Lin Luoran takes out a small porcelain bottle and gives it to her. "What is it, Aunt Lin?" Ma Shuangshuang shakes it and there is a gurgling sound. It seems to be liquid. Lin Luoran's movement of peeling shrimp is calm and elegant. It is too wasteful to shovel roses in the yard. "I refined a bottle of flower dew. It is a good thing to change the taste. You can take it and drink it slowly." Ma Shuangshuang nods in surprise. She finally feels relieved to eat steamed shellfish with garlic. Lin Luoran looks at the little girl who has no image when eating. She lowers her head and smiles. There is love in her smile that she doesn't even realize. The rose nectar was real, but how could it be as simple as rose nectar? However, the seasonings such as soy sauce and vinegar in her space are almost used up. There is also the bean chili sauce that people in the center of Chuan province love most. She has to make some by herself another day. Since Lin Luoran is determined to go to the banquet held by the city hall, she doesn't plan to pretend to be weak. It is reasonable for others to look down on her if she wears ragged clothes. Isn't it just clothes and jewelry in the secular world? This is not a problem for Lin Luoran. She takes Ma Shuang and talks and laughs at home for 2 days. She cuts a green girl's dress and a black tuxedo. The tuxedo has not changed much according to the style before the new era. The buttons are made of a rhinoceros monster's horn. They are shiny and obsidian. Each button hides a small magic circle which can attack and defend. Lin Luoran is very satisfied with the effect. She tells Ma Yiming that he doesn't need to wear this dress in the future and he has to take off the buttons. This is a good thing when you are in danger. Don't lose it. Ma Yiming doesn't understand, but Aunt Lin is right. He also cares about these buttons very much. As for Ma Shuang, on the day when the cloth is woven, she drinks the flower dew and sweats. Her hidden disease is almost cured. Lin Luoran is relieved to take her out. She lacks all kinds of mysteries except jade, gold and silver. Ma Shuang is young and can't suppress the nobility of gold. Lin Luoran melts the unused silver ingots in penglai and makes a set of silver-threaded jade jewelry for Ma Shuang. It matches her green dress. The girl once holds her breath in front of the dressing mirror and stares at herself in the mirror. In the evening 3 days later, the sun is not completely swallowed by the horizon. A car with the license plate of the city hall comes to pick them up. Lin Luoran calmly gets on the car with the brother and sister. The door closes silently. The car is particularly eye-catching on the streets of Yeyang district where there are no private cars. Ma Yiming's mood is a bit complicated. Ma Shuang is a little nervous. Lin Luoran is like an old monk. The mood of the three is very different. What they have in common is that they don't know what will be waiting for them at the banquet. Chapter 426. As night falls, the streets are lit with energy-saving lights. There is no flickering or colorful color. The street lights of Dongting City in the new era have only one color, white. They are neat and magnificent but also rigid and regular. At the beginning of the Federation, some of the older generation missed the colorful nightlife before the new era and the metropolises with neon lights that never turned off at night. However, as time went by, the old people passed away, and the natives of the Earth Federation, who were born and raised in the new era, had never seen the sleepless cities in the past at all. They had no objection to the strict management of the Federation and the unromantic street lights. Ma Shuang grew up on the floating bus and the subway. It is the first time for her to sit in a government luxury car. Seeing the street view going backward and the street lights reflected on the window glass, she feels nervous and uneasy. Ma Yiming is very straight. Although he is introverted, he is still a 19-year-old boy who has never seen the real world. He still shows some traces. Lin Luoran is a mobile museum, whose physiological age has changed from before the new era to today. Leaning on the soft leather chair in the back seat, she almost falls asleep. The banquet is held on the 17th floor of the City Hall. As the second most conspicuous building in Dongting City, the City Hall is second only to the Dongting City Library. It is located in Yeyang District. From the Ma's Villa, they need to go through the city. Lin Luoran and others arrive a little late. Tonight's celebration party is full of celebrities. Many reporters from TV stations and electronic newspapers are here. Cameras are moving fast. The flash of the shutter is a little beautiful. It is no different from the red carpet more than 300 years ago. Lin Luoran looks out of the window and sees the beautiful men and women in old-fashioned dresses. For a moment, she thinks that she is attending a slightly larger ordinary cocktail party 300 years ago. Seeing that Ma Shuang clutches the skirt of the gift tightly, Lin Luoran asks the driver to send them to the side door. Ma Shuangshuang smiles at her gratefully. Ma Yiming's stiff body is also slightly relaxed. Lin Luoran doesn't care about being exposed in front of others. She just doesn't want to compete with the so-called celebrities who rely on news for a living. Maybe her believers will also be hit when they see the photos of Mortal Heart Fairy on the Dongting Entertainment Express like an entertainment star. They get off the car in a slightly lonely underground parking lot. It turns out that not only Lin Luoran and others choose to go through the side door. At the very least, she saw another black sedan drive in. It's not a government license plate. Interesting. She inadvertently glances around. A young girl wearing a top hat and a black veil covering most of her face is escorted out of the car. The strength of the bodyguards seems to be much higher than those useless people of Proud Dragon business. The girl exudes coldness all over her body. Her chin line under the gauze hat is soft and beautiful. She is also well-dressed. As for her temperament, although Ma Shuangshuang is thin, she is more lovable. What a pity! Lin Luoran takes back her spiritual mind and whispers. The two siblings walking beside her don't hear what she says. Soon they go to the 17th floor. Lin Luoran sees that Ma Shuangshuang is nervous, so she asks her to take Ma Yiming's hand and go in. This is also a polite way before the new era. Unexpectedly, as soon as the brother and sister stepped into the magnificent banquet hall, an intense white beam of light shone down on them. The light was so strong that people couldn't help but squint their eyes. Under such a beam of light, any part of a person's body would be magnified to the maximum. Fortunately, the clothes of the brother and sister of the Ma family fit well and their jewelry are gorgeous. They don't lose face as some dark villains wish. Instead, they are in the limelight. Ma Yiming is tall enough, but he is a little thin. With this tailored tuxedo, he has a kind of delicate and pale aristocratic beauty like a male model of a famous brand in Europe before the new era. Although Ma Shuangshuang is still a young girl, her green retro dress completely covers up her figure. An emerald bracelet with silver threads makes her slightly pale skin look soft and beautiful. Her hair was loose, and there was a natural curl at the bottom. Only the front part of her hair was pulled up. She was wearing an exquisite emerald crown that did not steal her young face. It made her look like a wild elf that had been preserved in the form of words and could only be seen in the descriptions of the European literati before the epic. Hey, who are these two people? I don't know. I have never seen them before. Is she wearing a long dress made of silk? It's so luxurious. And that set of emerald jewelry. There are discussions in the corner of the banquet. Gossips are everywhere. Ma Yiming and his sister seem to be calm and wait for the light beam to hit the next guest. Those eyes from the corner are either obscure or bright. They even make the teenager regret for a moment. The glory of the family doesn't need such a fake banquet, right? They stand out. Except for their gorgeous clothes and expensive jewelry, no one even knows their origin. What is going on? Lin Luoran suddenly appears beside him. Ma Yiming is startled. Aunt Lin, where have you been? The lamppost falls down and Lin Luoran disappears in the bright light without being noticed. She suddenly appears in the corner. Ma Yiming is scared to death. Lin Luoran changes the topic and asks, "How do you feel about the banquet? How do you feel?" The arched hall of thousands of square meters is full of luxurious flowers and bonsai. The crystal chandelier is big and gorgeous. On the small stage, several women in white are playing the violin instrument, which is very popular in the new era. It is hard to tell whether it is good or bad, but the music is still moving. The fragrance of high-level mutant meat is so delicious. It is placed on the long tables around the venue together with luxury milk pastries for people to enjoy. There are also waiters passing by with trays. The red wine is more and more fascinating under the crystal lamp and through the refraction of the glass. Everything seems to be arranged according to the banquet information left before the new era. There is no mistake. Ma Yiming feels it is perfect, but he also has an idea of, it's just SOSO. Ma Shuangshuang is straightforward after all. It's no different from the old movies. Lin Luoran stops a waiter and brings 2 glasses of wine. She hands one to Ma Yiming. Ignoring the curious and eager eyes of Ma Shuangshuang, a minor, she takes a sip and smiles. There is still a difference. In this case before the new era, you have to tip to show that you are very satisfied with the service of the waiter. Now, guests and waiters can't stay close to each other, exchange their accounts, and then transfer crystal coins to pay the tip. As soon as she says it, this scene forms in the minds of Ma Yiming and his sister. Ma Shuangshuang can't help laughing when she thinks of powerful celebrities whispering to the waiter in order to tip. Miss Lin is really humorous. A middle-aged man who has been listening in the shadow for a long time can't help but say something. He takes a step and his face is exposed in the shadow. He looks ordinary but a little mature and charming. He is too familiar to the residents of Dongting City. Ma Yiming whispers, "You are Mr. Pang." Mr. Pang smiles and nods acquiesce. He is as friendly as ever. Of course, his name is not Mr. Pang. In fact, as the youngest member of the Federation who is expected to enter the Senate and is in charge of Dongting City, the most important city at the beginning of the establishment of the Earth Federation in the new era, Pang Xianzhong is not popular and his political means are extremely mediocre. However, because of a speech at the beginning of his term, he is called Mr. Pang by the citizens of Dongting City instead of the formal but alienating title of Mayor Pang. He takes the initiative to say hello. Ma Shuangshuang doesn't understand what it means. Ma Yiming is absolutely flattered. As for Lin Luoran, she just raises her glass and nods to him, which makes people feel that she is arrogant. At least the two noble ladies not far away have a problem with Lin Luoran, who doesn't know what's good for her, because they are infatuated with Mr. Pang. Pang Xianzhong gets closer and looks at Lin Luoran. Her skin is transparent and flawless. He is not sure whether she is the person he is looking for. After 300 years, a person still looks like a person in her early 20s. Even with the technology of the Alpha Alliance, it is not easy to achieve this. There has been no trace of cultivators for more than 300 years. If there are no video files, he doesn't know whether those former Huaxia cultivators still exist. It is said that the woman in front of him is a female cultivator. Pang Xianzhong is secretly vigilant. Everyone can see that the Alpha Alliance is suppressing cultivators. It's better to deal with this matter more conspiratorially. The premise is that the beautiful woman in front of him is really mortal heart fairy Lin Luoran who suddenly appeared. "Mr. Pang, it's your turn to speak." The chief secretary whispers to remind Pang Xianzhong. He smiles at Lin Luoran and strides to the stage. Ma Yiming stares at the back of Aunt Lin. He doesn't know the origin of the mysterious Aunt Lin. Even Mr. Pang values her so much. The mysteriousness of Lin Luoran can be seen from the plants that appear overnight in the yard of the Moss Villa. They taste delicious and are not ripened by nutrient solution at all. Ma Yiming even feels that the fertile soil of the entire Dongting city can't grow such natural crops. Then how did Aunt Lin do it? She cured his sister Ma Shuangshuang's illness. He knows that people like Bao Honglai will never sign the purchase contract that makes the security bureau of the city hall speechless. But if the contract is fake, someone from the city hall should have come to make trouble. Lin Luoran's strength is completely unpredictable and she can come and go freely among the mutant monsters. Although it is not shocking, Ma Yiming can clearly feel that Aunt Lin only made a very small effort to defend the city that day. She did it skillfully and easily. How strong is Aunt Lin on Earth? He faintly feels that it is definitely not as simple as the current level of martial arts. Martial arts above level 9 are called Great Martial Guru. Is Aunt Lin a great martial guru? Or is she a more mysterious spiritual strongman? The more strongmen there are in Dongting City, the more people's safety is guaranteed. Only in this way can we create scientific and technological progress for development and reconstruction. It has always been the Federation's firm goal to restore the Earth's mother planet to its original appearance. Pang Xianzhong's words are sincere and there is a kind of calming power in his speech, which makes his speech seem very convincing. It is a cliché that has been said for a long time, but the audience still applauds. Especially those reserved ladies, some of whom have already moved to the Moonstar. Today, they come here specially to listen to Mr. Pang's speech. Naturally, they clap their hands and show their support. The charm of a political star is extraordinary. Lin Luoran accidentally glimpses the girl in black veil who walks through the parking lot passage like them. She stares at Mr. Pang and claps her hands very flatteringly, revealing a little girl's affection. Popular among young and old? Lin Luoran is in a cold sweat. She puts down the wine glass. Since Mr. Pang talked to her, Lin Luoran has felt a scorching gaze staring at her. It is not obscene and has nothing to do with romance. She quietly uses her spiritual mind as her eyes, but she can't help but be surprised. Unexpectedly, it was a slightly noble young woman dressed in simple and elegant clothing. She stared in her direction with tears streaming down her face. Huge, silent tears flowed down her face, and her expression was extremely emotional. Lin Luoran sees a touch of familiarity between her eyebrows. Lin Luoran still can't remember which old friend she is. After condensing Godhead in Mount Penglai, her ocean of consciousness suddenly separates a silver line and rushes to the eyebrows of the woman who is staring at her crying in the corner. Lin Luoran looks at the closely connected lines of the power of faith between the two and the familiarity between their eyebrows. Lin Luoran suddenly realizes it. She is about to comfort the young woman, but she hears the microphone on the stage ring again. Mr. Pang's voice is a little bitter and he doesn't show much joy. He says welcome words, which makes people feel that the political star is not sincere. The Weir family of the rank 4-member Star of the Alliance arrived at the top floor of the City Hall 3 minutes ago. It seems that they are going to add a surprise to our cocktail party. Surprise? For most people it is a surprise. Especially as a guest of the Weir family of the rank 4-member Star of the Alpha Alliance, he has a handsome face similar to that of Eurasian people on the Earth. How many girls in love are attracted to him? However, Mr. Pang is scared under his calm face. What good thing can the people of the Weir family come to the Earth? As a rank 4-member star, their technology is much more advanced than that of the Earth. These Kaisers with double pupils have a similar appearance to human beings on the Earth, but they have a more perfect appearance. Don't they come to the Earth with the mentality of visiting the wonders after the disaster? Pang Xianzhong hates the undisguised contempt of other members of the Alliance to the Earth's mother planet. They call the Earth a cursed and wild planet. Just like this Weir. Colin is a person of high status in the Weir family. He has been on the Earth for a month, and he has been enjoying himself so much that he is under a lot of pressure. However, why does this handsome young man go to the corner? Pang Xianzhong's face becomes more and more gloomy because he finds that the direction of Colin is obvious. Lin Luoran and the other two are new faces at the banquet, and they are excluded. Only she and the Ma sisters are standing at the long table in the west. The target of the Weir family is Lin Luoran? Pang Xianzhong is shocked by this knowledge. Lin Luoran's appearance is very in line with the aristocratic temperament of the Kaiser planet, who is particular about inheritance. Are they hunting for women or have other purposes? Either way, Pang Xianzhong feels that the situation is quite tricky. Colin steps forward and also brings the eyes of the banquet to Lin Luoran. The beauty who suddenly has a sense of existence is not the most important thing. The most important thing is that the noble young man from the rank 4-member star walks to Lin Luoran, who is very strange to the people at the banquet. He raises his voice and says in interstellar common language, "Beautiful lady, have we met somewhere?" The interstellar common language is very standard. The hero is very handsome and the heroine is also a perfect match. This kind of scene with the right time, right place, and right people is generally called encounter. Only Lin Luoran looks cold. Does she feel that she is being teased? It doesn't feel good to be teased by a little kid. She opens her mouth coldly and throws out a shocking sentence. "Can't you speak the language of the Earth? Hey, shouldn't you be shy and blush at this time?" The ladies are indignant and deeply despise Lin Luoran's behavior of pretending to be virtuous to catch a man. Pang Xianzhong smiles imperceptibly. Bao Honglai hides in the dark and also laughs. One of them laughs because Lin Luoran is probably the target. The other laughs because Lin Luoran offends a member of the big family of the rank 4-member star in public. His house will probably be returned soon. And the young woman who cries because she sees Lin Luoran blushes. She clenches her fists because of Colin's disrespectful tone. Chapter 427. The banquet is not fun at all. Ma Shuang lifts the hem of her dress. The small cake tastes delicious, but the second piece is too sweet to swallow. More importantly, she didn't know where to put her hand due to the whispers and discussions around her. When did the situation become like this? Probably Weir from the rank 4 member star. After Colin Weir suddenly announces that Aunt Lin is his savior, the atmosphere of the dinner becomes subtle. Mr. Pang talks to them. A member of a big family in the rank 4 member star talks to them. The sensation is self-evident. What Ma Shuang doesn't understand is why Aunt Lin still looks so indifferent. She is so nervous. The noble young man in front of her is very similar to people on the earth except for his double pupils. Lin's clear eyes can see through the disguise. There will never be a soft alien under the handsome skin, which is the most common alien plot in movies. Even if she is 300 years younger, she will not be obsessed with a handsome man. Speaking of savior, she can't think of him for a moment. It's also because Colin Weir's dress is completely different from that of the young man who was almost cut open by a mutant beast on the day of Defense City. What? A noble son from a rank 4 member star comes to the Earth to fight with mutant beasts. Is it a poverty alleviation project? Lin Luoran says to Weir in a joking tone. She doesn't care much about the life-saving grace mentioned by Colin Weir. It's hard to imagine that a guy from a rank 4 member star will put himself in danger without any backup plan. In Defense City, she has wasted the spirit medicine in vain. Colin Weir doesn't answer directly. The annoying smile on his face always reminds Lin of an old friend from 300 years ago. She suspects that she is really old. Recently, she always likes to reminisce about the past. Miss Lin, what is the name of the Earth? Fighting with mutant beasts, in my opinion, is really a very interesting and exciting activity. It is more exciting than the top wild club on Kaiser Planet. Tonight, I come here not only to thank you for saving my life, but also for what you put in my mouth. Ginseng slice? Is this the name of the Earth? The analysis report of Kaiser Planet shows that this thing can nourish cells with amazing efficacy. Speaking of which, there used to be a pharmaceutical company called Lin's on the Earth. Is it related to Miss Lin? This time, he didn't use the interstellar common language but the language of Huaxia. Since the establishment of the New Era Federation, national boundaries had been blurred, and too many places had relied on Huaxia in the early days of Reconstruction. Whether it was water or technology, Huaxia had become the first basic language of the Earth Federation, and English had become the second. Lin Luoran yawns out of boredom. Aren't you good at speaking on the Earth? Don't pretend to be 13. Lin's pharmaceutical factory, I have some connections with it. Isn't it old history many years ago? Mr. Colin is so busy that he specially comes to the dinner of Dongting City Hall. Is it just to confirm such a trivial matter? The translator is not very proficient in the network Martian language before the new era. In the face of words such as pretentious 13, it shows the blind spot of translation. Colin paused a little. It was probably not a good word. Miss Lin, it's like this. Kaiser Star is very interested in the native products of the level 1 member star of the Alliance. These lovely herbs that should have been extinct for hundreds of years are very popular among the nobles of Kaiser Star. If Miss Lin has the ambition, we can discuss this issue. As for the conditions, I can guarantee that Miss Lin will be satisfied. Does he like ginseng very much? Even stupid pigs like things that can save lives. However, Kaiser Star is a level 4 member star of the Alpha Alliance. Compared with the technology of the Earth, does the so-called level 4 member star of Kaiser Star still need to care about the common stuff like ginseng, which is hundreds of years old in her eyes? The medical level of Kaiser Star is too low. It is said in the movie that aliens will change their bodies after their physical death. It seems to be nonsense. Colin Weir hides his doubts. Colin Weir's words are half true and half false. What life-saving grace. He may even complain that she interrupted his exciting outdoor exercise. It is the ginseng slices that attract Colin Weir's attention. Colin Weir's attention. Hundreds of years old ginseng can attract the attention of a noble son of a big family in a level 4 member star of the Alpha Alliance. Lin Luoran holds the space in her hand. She feels that she is in great danger, but at the same time, it is full of opportunities that can be used. She knows the truth that treasuring a jade ring a crime. However, she was no longer the weak little female cultivator from before. Moreover, she was all alone now. The universe was vast, and there was nowhere she couldn't go. The whereabouts of her family and friends were unknown. Similarly, she didn't have to worry about facing threats in the future. We can discuss this matter after the banquet. Colin Weir is very satisfied with the result of the discussion. In his eyes, Lin Luoran has a mysterious origin and great strength. However, in the era of the universe dominated by science and technology, personal force is not valued. No matter how strong she is still a weak woman. Can she defeat a starship alone? Lin Luoran also has a new idea. The disappearance of Lin's pharmaceutical factory is not necessarily because it is forced into a dead end. If even the noble son of a level 4 member Star covets the spirit medicine in her hands, she has reason to believe how much the Alpha Alliance covets the spirit medicine and elixir of the cultivation civilization. Gene evolution fluid forcibly develops the human body's potential. It is really a failure. Any alchemist in the world of cultivation in the past will not make this kind of medicine with obvious defects. Both of them feel that the other has what they want. They are in a good mood and the atmosphere is very harmonious for a while. It makes the gossips who thought that they would fight feel disappointed. Lin Luoran looks aside. The young woman has been quiet but burning eyes. Lin Luoran can't bear to leave the other there. "Excuse me. I have something private," Lin Luoran says to Weir. Colin Weir nods and apologizes. He takes the young woman out of the noisy hall. Colin Weir takes back his eyes and looks at the young Ma Shuangshuang with a harmless, gentle smile. "Ah, little beauty, please forgive Colin's neglect just now." Even through the thick wall, Lin Luoran's spiritual mind is still watching the venue. Does Colin Weir want to trick the little girl? It seems that the word black-bellied is really not only applied to Earthlings. However, the siblings of the Ma family are still confused about whether this ant who comes from the sky can tell Weir. What useful information can Colin Weir have? Under the cover of the mini-world, Lin Luoran takes the young woman with a strange look and suddenly disappears under the omnipresent surveillance of the city hall. When the young woman comes to her senses again, she finds that she is standing in a place that is absolutely familiar to her. This island is engraved in the bones of the family. Everyone can recognize it at a glance. This is the Taoist field of Mortal Heart Fairy, Mount June Island in Dongting. The moonlight is dancing. The young woman has no doubt about Lin Luoran's identity. She kneels devoutly and sobs. Lu Qingdai, the daughter of the Lu family. Greetings, Mortal Heart Fairy. Lu Qingdai, surnamed Lu, is so pious that the ocean of consciousness can actively separate people connected by the line of faith. Besides, the sense of familiarity between her eyebrows shows her origin. That year, she was meditating in the Dragon Palace. An ordinary devotee took the initiative to set up the line of faith by offering incense piously every day. It turned out that her daughter had leukemia. Later, she and her first apprentice Yuan Yi cured her. The girl was delicate and weak. She came to the Lu Yi well with her mother to make a vow. She made a resolute vow. "I, Lu Xinyo, am grateful for Fairy's life-saving grace. You saved my life and my mother's life. I am willing to follow my mother's order. The Lu family will believe in Mortal Heart Fairy from now on. I am willing to use my whole life to spread Fairy's miracles. If there is any falsehood, I will not enter reincarnation." She remembers it clearly. She is happy for saving a flower-like life. However, did that weak woman really use her whole life to spread her miracles? The water vapor in the lake rises and it is cool on Mount June Island. Lin Luoran stands in front of the well. Lu Qingdai finishes telling the history of her family for more than 200 years. Lin Luoran sighs. Lu Xinyo, who was cured of leukemia, gradually became famous for being good at painting fairy images after her recovery. She later became a master of painting. She never painted other scenery and people in her life. At first, she only painted meticulously. However, in her later years, her mortal heart fairy seemed to come out of the painting paper at any time. With her painting skills, Lu Xinyo unexpectedly survived the most turbulent period. She was healthy and lived until she was 86 years old. Then she died of no disease. Since 158 of the new era, the Federation has circled Mount June Island as a key protected area. People are not allowed to come and go at will. The Lu family has also been given various honors. The elders in the family have discussed that it is better to move to the moon to avoid the Alpha Alliance for a while. I really didn't expect that I would meet Fairy at the dinner of the Dongting City Hall. I am so scared. Qingdai, Lu Qingdai, keep the surname Lu from generation to generation. Lin Luoran doesn't expect that things have changed after 300 years. There is still an ordinary family on the earth. She is the focus of the continuation of the family. She is silently fulfilling the vows of those years. You have done a good job. It is me who has not done a good job. Lin Luoran sighs. She inadvertently remembers the remnant soul on the top of Mount Fuji who chose to die with Orochi. She said that God has a duty. Lin Luoran thinks about it at this moment. She has done far less. Mount Penglai has been gone for 300 years. It is enough for her to reflect on herself. She left her family for Mrs. Lin. At this moment, she thinks that maybe Mrs. Lin is the saddest one. The Lu family has been preaching all its life. It is really a good spokesperson. After the condensation of the Godhead, the scenery in the ocean of consciousness has changed dramatically. After the restoration of the fly Apsara's painted sculpture, it is so holy that it can't be looked at directly. The power of faith is the original force. It has multiplied into an immortal atmosphere with carved beams and painted rafters. It is no longer the previous barren scene. Lin Luoran always feels that her ocean of consciousness and space are two completely different ways. One has substance and the other has Reiki. When combined, it suddenly becomes a real world. Lin Luoran is shocked by her whimsical idea. She turns around and sees that Lu Qingdai is still standing aside respectfully. An idea comes to her mind. The power of faith is magical. If Lu Qingdai can borrow some, it will be a great help for what she wants. Lin Luoran doesn't have any sense of familiarity with the broken environment of the earth. She wants to improve it. This project is huge. It can't be done overnight. She can't achieve it by herself. Unless she can realize her own holy spell. Buddhist cultivators can borrow the holy spell of faith of Buddha. Lin Luoran is a small god after all. Although she can't create a world with one leaf and let believers walk in the human world to collect more power of faith, she is not much worse than the powerful people in the past. Lin Luoran is more confident. She is about to tell Lu Qingdai something. The early warning spiritual mind left at the scene of the City Hall dinner is touched like a spider web. It is the button circle on Ma Yiming's body. Lin Luoran's face changes slightly. For a moment, she can't imagine how the protective circle on Ma Yiming's body can be activated at a banquet of songs and dances. Let's go back first. Plus equals well, it will be on the shelves tomorrow. I will temporarily stop tonight and wait for tomorrow's outbreak. I beg you to allow me to be lazy for half a day. Everything is to conserve energy. If you can subscribe conditionally, please support Po. If you can't subscribe conditionally, please don't exclude the Lin family from your personal bookshelves. In addition to subscriptions, the Lin family also needs your clicks and red votes. Please go home often and be active in the book review section. Chapter 428. The first update is here. Please subscribe, red ticket, bookmark. When the armed alliance garrison suddenly appears in the venue on the 17th floor of the City Hall, the well-dressed upper class of the new era Dongting panics. Their elegant appearance is shattered. Many people suddenly realize sadly that they can no longer deceive themselves. Even if they are the upper class of Dongting City, under the dazzling crystal lights, the Alpha Alliance garrison can still break in at such an important dinner held in the City Hall. Rank 1 member star? What a big joke. Mr. Pang's face is gloomy. The conflict is about to be triggered, but he has to stand up and smooth things over. Captain, do you mean that one of my guests has hidden cultivator's items? The silver military uniform made of special materials and the stars on the brim of the hat indicate the rank of the Alliance officer in front of him. There were not many people in the Alliance army stationed in the Himalayas. They relied more on the powerful deterrence of starships, advanced instruments, and invincible mecha. An army of armed robots controlled the overall situation. A captain was already considered a very high position in the Alliance army stationed on Earth. Compared with his subordinates, this captain in silver is heroic. His appearance is not much different from that of the Earthlings. The double pupils in his eyes reveal the fact that he is a Caesarian. Colin Weir doesn't feel like crying when he sees his fellow countrymen. On Caesar's star, not all the forces were united like an iron bucket. Caesar's star also had a division of forces. Unfortunately, the family crest with 2 cross swords pinned to the pocket of this captain's jacket showed that this person was the arch-enemy of the Weir family. In the vast sea of stars, there are many member stars of the Alpha Alliance. Not all intelligent life on every planet looks like a human. Alliance soldiers holding pulse machine guns surround the brother and sister. There are only 3 forks on the place where they hold the gun target. Their limbs are covered with dark red fine scales. Although they can walk upright, their faces are more like a lizard's. Ma Shuang feels that her stomach is rolling and a sour taste comes up. The little girl just ate sweet cakes. At this moment, she seriously protests and she vomits. Vomiting will not be regarded as a polite welcome on any planet. Alliance Captain Sutherland has a tough attitude. Garter ignores Mr. Pang's smooth talk and immediately orders a more impolite body search. A body search. Although they are searched by instruments, Ma Shuang is too ashamed to stay in Dongting City, let alone Ma Yiming. Mr. Pang's face is pale. He has found out the details of the Ma family. They are the descendants of federal heroes. If they are treated like this in the city hall and exposed to the public in the future, he will never be the mayor of Dongting. As for entering the federal senate, radical leftists will have more reasons to reject him. Ma Yiming raised his sister like a daughter. Before the new era, he would be a damn sister complex. How can he allow Ma Shuang to be searched? The cultivator's item must be the protective jade token that has been passed down in the family, right? Ma Yiming stands in front of his sister. He doesn't expect that the instrument will scream more sharply when it gets close to him. Both of them have cultivator items on them. Bring them back to the base for investigation. Sutherland. Got orders. This is how the armed conflict breaks out. The pulse gun can adjust the degree of the pulse. A slight one will only cause a coma. However, both the protective jade plate hanging on Ma Shuang's neck and the low-key black button of Ma Yiming regard the pulse shot by the Alliance soldiers as an attack to threaten its owner. Bang. A light shield blocks the pulse wave and covers the brother and sister. The venue is silent. It is at this moment that Lin Luoran, who is far away in Mount June, Mayor Pang, is there any misunderstanding now? The cold-faced Garter shows a rare smile. Of course, they don't come to the city hall to catch 2 ordinary people. An encrypted message of interest to the base has been deciphered and it is sent from the city hall of Dongting. Today, it is not a coincidence. Sutherland. Don't be arrogant. Colin Weir can't help but say. The Sutherland family is really not a gentleman. How old is this little girl from the Earth? He is so scared that she almost cries. Sutherland. Seems to see Colin Weir. He shows an exaggerated smile. Colin of the Weir family? You are not staying on Caesar. The Earth is seriously polluted. Mr. Colin has to be careful of his body. Colin Weir clenches his fist. He is not talented in physical skills and spiritual power since he was a child. Sutherland. Gott's sarcasm makes Weir laugh. Colin Weir purses his lips to hold back his embarrassment. Captain Gott, I think we need to have a heart-to-heart talk. Whether it is for Lin Luoran's unconfirmed identity or his own political future, Mr. Pang needs to work hard on this matter. He keeps trying to persuade Lin to stay. Sutherland. Gott has even embarrassed Colin Weir. How can the market of Pang Xinzhong, a rank 1 member star, be disturbed by him? Take them away. The golden door of the city hall opened without any wind, and a woman's voice could be heard first. Captain God? What the hell? Is it a felony to carry cultivators' belongings? Tud, you look down on cultivators so much. Why are you so nervous? You even have to guard the belongings left by cultivators. Who is it? Get out. Sutherland. Gott looks gloomy. Mr. Pang breathes a sigh of relief. The siblings of the Ma family are happy and wronged. As for Colin Weir, who was embarrassed by Gott, he also feels that he has turned over a new leaf. The old saying of the Earthlings is really reasonable. Who asked you to put on airs? Now you get slapped in the face. You deserve it. Bang, bang, bang. Gott shoots at the door. The wall of the city hall built with new materials can't stop the pulse gun. Screams are everywhere in the hall. After the white smoke, there is still no one in the open golden gate. However, several lizardmen soldiers fall to the ground with a muffled sound. The crystal lights in the hall finally stop shaking. Sutherland. Garter turned around, but the two Earthlings were nowhere to be seen. The lizardmen soldiers fall to the ground and twitch. No one knows what kind of injury they have. Mr. Pang, I'm sorry to ruin your dinner. Captain Gott, now that I'm back, I'm afraid I have to settle some old scores. If the Alliance garrison doesn't withdraw from the Earth in 3 days, don't blame me for being ruthless. The Golden Gate seems to respond to these decisive words. It closes with a bang. However, the hall is in an uproar. Who is so arrogant to take people away quietly in front of the captain of the Alliance garrison and say that the Alliance garrison will withdraw from the Earth in 3 days? Is the world going to change? Pang Xinzhong slowly loosens his clenched fists. A trace of imperceptible joy climbs on his serious face, but it is soon covered up by Mr. Pang. Ask the Alpha Alliance garrison to withdraw from the Earth in 3 days? Such strong self-confidence and protective behavior. Who else can do it except the legendary Huaxia cultivators? More than 200 years ago, the cultivators created the Shelter of Gods, which caused the Alliance army to suffer heavy losses. The Alliance army had to negotiate peace with the Earth in disgrace. They were just bullying the missing cultivators. Now that they have shown up again, there seems to be a new variable in the way of the Earth Federation. There is a lot of discussion in the hall. Colin Weir narrows his eyes. It turns out to be the mysterious Huaxia cultivator? Strength was secondary. Their mysterious method of cultivation to promote the evolution of their bodies and even allow them to live forever was what really made people envious. Colin Weir smiles sincerely. He has a hunch that he seems to have done a very valuable thing on this trip to the Earth. Sutherland. Garter, let's wait and see. The convective wind brought by the closing of the Golden Gate lifts a corner of the veil on the head of the girl who has been staying quietly in the corner. The change of the curve of the chin reveals the ups and downs of the girl's mood. When she was a child, she was bitten by a moonstar savage beast. Her father, an interstellar trader, once asked for help from a medical institution on a rank 5-member Star of the Alliance. Not to mention the high price, the other party was helpless to treat this kind of injury. He suggested that she could use new skin to treat it, but it was rejected by the girl. Even the new skin cultivated with her cells will be disgusting when it is stuck to her face. Her father once hugged her and sighed. If there were still cultivators today, or even Lin's pharmaceutical factory, which is said to be closely related to cultivators, still exists, is the woman who just appeared a cultivator? The girl tries to remember Lin Luoran's appearance, but she finds that her memory is like a cloud of fog. She can't describe it clearly. Is this the means of cultivators? The girl has more confidence in what her father said. If anyone can cure her, it must be the female cultivator just now. The rumor spreads like a virus and soon radiates in the human gathering place. Dongting City, Yang District. Have you heard? An old lady who is buying vegetables stops her companion and asks in a low voice. You are talking about the excitement in the city hall last night, right? The old lady nods and looks at each other. She smiles tacitly. She has silver hair and even smooths her messy hair. Who doesn't want to be a man? If the new era does not come, as an increasingly powerful citizen of Huaxia, How can her grandson be treated like this? He just didn't avoid people from a rank 3-member star in time. Is it necessary to beat him and make him lie in bed for 3 months? Dongting City, Juzhou District. Zhongdu City of Huaxia, Earth Federation. East Africa Gathering Place of the Earth Federation. Morgan City, located in the middle of the Great Rift Valley of East Africa. West Europe Gathering Place of the Earth Federation. Ireland City, London City. Moonstar Residence of the Earth Federation. Pluto Residence under development by the Earth Federation. People of the Earth Federation with different skin colors don't mention the word cultivator in their conversations. However, they all know that someone asked the Alliance garrison to withdraw from the Earth's mother planet within 3 days. Chapter 429. Second update. Continue to ask for subscriptions. Lin Luoran, the initiator of stirring up the one-star storm and making many cups fall in the Alliance garrison base, is now lying on a swing in the space, watching the clouds change because of the alternating cold and hot. The sky is high and the air is cool. If there is another sun in the sky, it will really be like an independent small world. Lin Luoran sees the worried eyes of the siblings of the Ma family. This is the second day after she said that the Alpha Alliance garrison will leave the Earth. Outside the villa, the storm is raging. Lin Luoran hides in the space to relax. You are impulsive this time, aren't you? Alas, little girls just can't stand loneliness. Fire Phoenix preaches like an old man. They have discussed that it is better for Lin Luoran to secretly develop believers and accumulate her own strength. However, she acts in such a high-profile way without discussion. She disrupts the enemy's plan, which makes things difficult for her own side. White Fairy is wearing a yellow dress. She stands by the spring and looks at the ice grass buds that are about to bloom. She says quietly, Lin's choice is rash, but in this case, it may have an unexpected impact. The premise is that you can really make the Alpha Alliance garrison get out of the Earth in 3 days. White Fairy and Fire Phoenix have completely different views, but they both have their own reasons. For decades, Lin Luoran secretly develops believers to other member stars. Under the influence of the power of faith, the Earth rises step by step from a rank 1 member star to another. It is not impossible to restore the old appearance of the Earth. However, Lin Luoran can't wait for this mode of boiling a frog in warm water. On the one hand, the whereabouts of the Lin family are still unknown. On the other hand, the Alpha Alliance's strange attitude towards cultivators makes her confused. Are cultivators' items contraband? Lin Luoran doesn't know whether they are afraid of the shelter of gods, or they have other plans. Where are the cultivators' items collected in the past? Look at Weir. People of the Alpha Alliance also want to increase their lifespan because of Colin Weir's attitude. However, they may be like the fake Saintus who can't leave the Earth. Except for the Huaxia people, no one can cultivate. The ozone layer collapses. In addition to a large amount of gray fog, there is also a lot of Reiki flowing into the Earth. So, in reality, spiritual energy exists in the universe? Aliens can't copy the cultivation mode of Huaxia on the Earth to explore the way of heaven. Is it because they don't have the Taoist root in their bodies? Cyan Phoenix's method allows her to master the way to shape the Taoist root for mortals. If such a secret is known by the Alpha Alliance, what will happen? She puts the mystery aside. As White Fairy said, the way to clear the dark clouds and see the bright moon is not only to lurk but also to keep a high profile. In 3 days, she will drive the garrison of the Alpha Alliance out of the Earth. Lin Luoran believes that she will get a lot of interesting results. Lin's pharmaceutical factory, which had disappeared without a trace, the Lins and Huaxia cultivators who went to the unknown place through the Tower of Babel, and the descendants of her old friends who disappeared in time. She vowed to find them one by one. So we wasted 300 years on the floating stone path, didn't we? If I didn't look closely at the space spirit medicine, I really wouldn't have noticed it. 1 day in heaven equals 1 year on the Earth. Lin Luoran looks at the spirit medicine of 10,000 years in the space medicine field. She finally realizes that when she woke up under the welcome pine, The shoes on her feet did not fall off the cliff. Maybe they were directly exposed to the air for 300 years. The cloth shoes she wears are not as dust-proof as the protean dress. Time mercilessly crushes them into powder and blows them away in the mountains. When she wakes up, she finds that she has advanced to the middle period of bearing essence. It has nothing to do with good luck. It is clearly that time freezes and Reiki passively pours into her body to the critical point. She advances naturally. It is ridiculous that she and Fire Phoenix don't know that time has passed and the time is so close. Because it is difficult to find immortals, the devil inside grows. They almost die of Qigong deviation on Mount Penglai. Sometimes Lin Luoran also thinks about what she got from the trip to Penglai. Is it the space in front of her that expands to the size of 20 acres because of the personal ability improvement? Or is it a pile of precious spirit medicine of more than 10,000 years? The only valuable thing is the unprecedented power of faith collected by the plague in Shin City. Without the power of faith, Cyan Phoenix tells her the method of shaping the Taoist root, but she can't use it. According to Fire Phoenix, with the condensation of Godhead, she can be regarded as a god. Lin Luoran sighs. Without the holy spell, a god is just a cultivator in the late period of bearing essence. Fire Phoenix is still arguing with White Fairy. It is old and it doesn't have much advantage in arguing. It is really difficult for White Fairy to get along with 3 boring former monsters all day long. Lin Luoran is so noisy that she can't stay in the space. She gets up and goes to her room in the log cabin. The notebook on the table is flashing on standby. It is funny that this notebook can be used without plugging in. After Lin Luoran's appraisal, it seems that the only use of this notebook is to check the information and growth status of crops in the space. For example, the spirit grass of the water that she always calls ice grass is actually yaoguang grass. Phages 6,358 years. The scarlet flame fruit was 12,000 years old. The green light flower is the youngest, but it is more than 1,400 years old. Lin Luoran thinks about it. These 3 spirit herbs are connected with the 3 monsters in the space. They don't get the benefit of 1 day equals 1 year in the space. However, the time in the space is the same as the outside world. Lin Luoran looks at the flashing light spots on the computer screen. The vegetables and fruits are ripe. Some old plants need to be uprooted and replanted. Lin Luoran feels it is too much to take care of 20 acres of land alone. She picks a few fruits and fills a basket. When she is about to leave the space, White Fairy stops her. Lin Luoran, do you remember the 3 things you promised me? Of course she does. Lin Luoran hasn't even seen the shadow of 10,000-year hollow azurite after more than 300 years. Hearing White Fairy mentioning it, Lin Luoran can't help but blush. White Fairy smiles. The second thing is easy. Don't worry about it. Lin Luoran carries a fruit basket out of the room. The siblings of the Ma family want to say something but stop on second thought. She wonders, the little girl outside hasn't left yet? Ma Shuang nods. Aunt Lin, the sun is so hot. If she stays in the sun, she will faint. Looking out from the 3rd floor, Lin Luoran can see the girl with a black gauze hat guarding in front of the villa through the layers of shade. She is still surrounded by a large number of bodyguards. It can be seen that her family is extraordinary. However, Lin Luoran doesn't want to cure people at this time. She has already told the Alliance garrison to get out of the earth within 3 days. She can't just do nothing. Besides, how many people would cherish something that they didn't obtain through hard work? The girl also has a stubborn side. Just let her wait outside for a few days. Lin Luoran asks the siblings of the Ma family to eat fruit. Now she doesn't have to hide it from them. She can take things out of the space openly. Aunt Lin, can we still call you Aunt Lin? The grapes are so sweet. Lin Luoran's identity as a cultivator is exposed. Ma Yiming doesn't know what to do. Ma Shuang is more innocent and she finally can't help but ask directly. Lin Luoran laughs. Of course you can. Otherwise, do you want to call me Aunt Lin? According to seniority, she can't be called Aunt Lin. Even so, Ma Shuang has already exclaimed, you don't look much older than us. How can we call you Aunt? Ancestor? Calling her aunt is very old. Ma Shuang has secretly thought about this problem. Today, she can finally ask the question. Lin Luoran shakes her head. I am a cultivator before the new era. You are still taking advantage of me to call you aunt. Little girl, are you still not satisfied? Ma Yiming's throat is hissing. A peach stone is stuck in his throat. He is choked by Lin Luoran's words. A cultivator before the new era? Isn't Aunt Lin more than 300 years old? Ma Shuang screams and slaps the peach stone out of Ma Yiming's throat. Ma Yiming coughs for a long time before he asks with difficulty, then you and my ancestor, Huaxia rose more than 300 years ago. Isn't that the time when his ancestor Ma Mingjing was young? Being asked by Ma Yiming, Lin Luoran can't help but soften her voice. I met the little fatty that year. He was only 11 or 12 years old. He was wrestling with my brother in the classroom. She slowly tells the story. The naughty little fatty, the clever little fatty, he is not just a classmate who grew up with Luo Dong. It is said that people are most afraid of parting. Now she thinks about it. Even old enemies from many years ago, after the baptism of 300 years, she will have a kind of complicated joy when she meets them again. The siblings of the Ma family hold their breath. The ancestor of the federal hero who is only recorded in written materials is restored to an ordinary person with flesh and blood, which makes them feel cordial and admiring from the bottom of their hearts. When talking about Ma Mingjing, people can't help but talk about others. For example, her brother Luo Dong, Huang Weijian, who is very courageous, little girl Wei Shui. Even after hundreds of years, they are still excellent young people. Ma Yiming feels sorry in his heart. Aunt Lin, are they the heroes who go to the Tower of Babel? Aunt Lin is a cultivator. How can her family be ordinary people? Ma Yiming really wants to ask where these heroes are today. However, Lin Luoran smiles sadly. His throat seems to be stuck in a peach pit and he can't ask. Ah, I remember. Ma Shuang is in a hurry. She takes out the jade plate she has been wearing since she was a child. This is the heirloom of the Ma family. Because of her poor health, her brother has hung it around her neck since she was a child. The three Huaxia characters Lin Luoran are engraved in the lower left corner of the jade plate. It is so fresh as if it was just engraved yesterday. Before, she only thought that Aunt Lin is a descendant of the Lin family. However, Aunt Lin says that she is a cultivator before the new era. Then this name? Lin Luoran touches the name in the lower left corner. She has sent out several jade plates like this. She doesn't know when she can get them all. You're right. Lin Luoran is my name. Lin Luoran is my name. As I said to you that day in the Federal Hero Cemetery, I'm back. You don't need to be afraid of anyone. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.